Northbound 6570 continuing to northbound 65. It's shut down because of a semi-crash. Traffic can be pushed to eastbound 70 right now. You can also peel off at Washington or in the South Split to reroute. Eastbound 70 because of that crash and closure. Stop from West Street into the South Split. West side southbound 465 very slow before West 46th Street down to the 74 ramps. That's because of construction blocking 4 right lanes. Traffic sponsored by Unbound.org. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back. Stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving central Indiana.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Good morning. Sunny skies, warm temperatures, quiet conditions. Today's high, 86. We're mainly clear, quiet, and comfortable overnight. A low down to 61. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
71 and sunny on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
All right, Casey, dealer's choice for you this morning.
Oh, great.
And whatever rabbit hole you want to run down, that's how we'll begin this highly rated, highly acclaimed program.
Okay, what do you have?
Behind door number 1, we can continue to talk about the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, and how he's blaming the Democrats for all the rhetoric that caused that attempt.
So we can do that, and that's fine. A lot of people very, very interested in that, and no one will blame you if you indeed said, sign me up for some more assassination talk. Or you can go behind door number 2, and I'll just crap all over Holcomb for a few minutes.
Wow, the choices. I'm going to go with door number 2, please.
All right, so first of all, so there are going to be 3 debates for governor this year, and one of them is Wish TV, one of them is the Indiana Debate Commission, and they have said if you are on the ballot, all 3 candidates who are on the ballot, you will be allowed to participate in our debate as the way it should be. If you meet the very high ballot threshold in Indiana, you should be allowed to debate. However, there is a 3rd debate put on by Fox 59 and CBS 4, and they are owned by some mega corporation, right?
Nexstar, I believe.
Yeah, one of a very large media broadcaster. And apparently for their general election debates, and this must be a Nexstar countrywide policy, wherever they own television stations or whatever, you have to meet a polling threshold of 10%. And if you do not meet a polling threshold of 10%, then you're out ski and you're not allowed to debate. So they do with Emerson, who is a very respected polling firm. I mean, one of the more respected polling firms. Fox 59 and CBS 4 have done a poll on a bevy of issues related to Indiana politics and government, primarily using that as the barometer to decide whether all 3 candidates qualify to be participating in the debate. So before we get to crapping on Holcomb, and we'll save that for the main event of this segment, let's talk about very quickly, for Casey, What is my least favorite part of the show?
You know, you really don't like it when you have to come on the air and remind everybody how correct you are.
That's right. I hate doing it. And there is nothing. There is nothing. As I was driving into work today and this poll came in front of me, it was a sense of dread. By the way, it took me over an hour to get to work today.
Yeah, because of 465.
If you're a part of this, we're going to have some words because it should not, from Brownsburg, it should not take me an hour and 15 minutes to get to work. I mean, it was like, what was the game? Dr. Mario was the updated version of it where you got the little Jenga or whatever. What's the name of there was a video game and Dr. Mario was the
Super Mario?
No, there was like a game where the little shapes fall down and you got to stack them up in the right orders. And
like Tetris?
Tetris! Yes, thank you. I think that's right. Yeah. Dr. Mario, but it was pills, and obviously, anyway, you get the point. Yeah. That's what the game was like going to work today. I went from, Casey, it's normally a very simple trip. It's 74, 465, 70, downtown, boom, in 30 minutes, no mess. I went from today, 74. 465 North, 38th Street.
That's the wrong way.
Lafayette Road, 16th Street. Yeah. I think I ended up on Capitol at some point, and then finally into the parking garage. Yeah. Should not take that long. Anyway, there was a sense of dread as I was doing this hour and 15-minute endeavor today because I was going to have to come on here. And in the opening segment, talk about how right I was and how full of crap the Democrats are.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about this poll from Emerson College and also The Hill. They surveyed over 1,000 likely voters, and let's see where everybody is. They've got Mike Braun sitting at 45% for the governor's race. Okay. Jennifer McCormick at 34%.
Whoa.
Yeah?
No. That sounds like, you said 45-34? Now, that's an 11-point lead for Braun.
Yeah. That's a lot different than the poll that we heard about yesterday.
Boy, it sure is. Boy, howdy, Casey. The Democrats put out their own poll, and they said, she's
statistical tie.
She's within striking distance. And what did we tell you? We said that poll is crap. They're not releasing their crosstabs. They're not telling you anything about that poll. That is a propaganda poll, and the reality of this isn't anywhere close to that in any legitimate poll, that nonpartisan poll, because, by the way, I got some friends that run around in these campaigns, and I know what the actual internals are. And it was like, you people are full of it. And riding to the rescue is CBS 4 and Fox 59 with a legitimate poll that shows, as we told you on this show, Mike Braun is kicking the crap out of old what's-her-face.
Jennifer McCormick.
And he is going to be the next governor of Indiana, which was the whole point of my Braun endorsement, which is I know how to look at data. I know how to look at numbers. I know there is no way Mike Braun is not going to be the next governor of the state of Indiana. So the question for you as the voter is, what sort of firepower do you want to give Mike Braun and Micah Beckwith in terms of a mandate to pass property tax reform to help you? That's the only conversation we're having right now, is what sort of mandate do you want to give Mike Braun? If he rolls in there with 53 to 55% of the vote, he's going to have the wind at his back to be able to help you do this thing. And this poll shows exactly what we've been telling you. He's way up. He's going to win. And by the way, the huffing and puffing about rainwater, and I like rainwater personally, but 6%. What did we tell you?
5.8%.
What did we tell you, Casey?
Yeah.
We said without us, we were essentially the entire rainwater campaign in 2020. And without us, where is he at? He went from an 11.5 down to 6%, which is exactly where we told you it'd be. This is exactly where the world always works in this state. It's going to be Braun 50% plus. McCormick's going to be at 41, 42, something like that, and then rainwater will, fill in the difference.
Single digits, perhaps. So the question was, if the gubernatorial election were held today, who would you vote for? Braun at 45, McCormick at 34, rainwater at 5.8%. He said that he was definitely disappointed that the voters are being denied the opportunity to hear another candidate on October 2nd who will be on their ballot on November 5th, but he will be on the stage for the October 3rd debate on Wish TV and also the October 24th debate held by the Indiana Debate Commission. Now, here's an interesting point.
Let me stop you real quick, though. He's right.
Yeah.
Braun and McCormick should come out and demand that Donald Rainwater be allowed to debate in the CBS 4 Fox 59 debate, and they should refuse to participate if he's not allowed. Whoever we've endorsed or whatever, he's on the ballot. He's a legitimate candidate. He's not one of these guys who's going to get 1%. He's going to be somewhere between 5 and 6. Again, without our endorsement, the campaign has kind of crumbled, which was why everybody wanted our endorsement so bad. So we told you was going to happen. But he deserves to be a part of the conversation. That is ridiculous that a guy that is going to get hundreds of thousands of votes is being denied a platform on the stage with the other candidates.
13.3% undecided still. That seems high.
Well, okay, so let's Braun has done this in almost every race he's been in where the gubernatorial race was a great example in the primary. Remember where people were like, there's all these undecideds, and if they all broke for Crouch or Chambers or whatever, Braun got the majority of undecideds. Same thing happened in his U.S. Senate race against Joe Donnelly. Braun is unoffensive enough, and he's conservative enough that he sort of is like the porridge is just right, that the majority of those undecideds, if McCormick hasn't convinced you or Rainwater hasn't convinced you to vote for them by now, you're going to probably take the path of least resistance, which is the devil you know, which is Braun. So let's say Braun gets, of those 13, let's say Braun gets 8 and she gets 4 and he gets 1 and Rainwater gets 1.
Yeah. Well, that's going to put Braun over 50%.
Well over 50%. So okay, but the point of all of this is Rainwater should totally be allowed to debate. Both of the candidates should be able to should all be a part of the process. But let's talk about the one that just tickles my heart to no end, Casey.
You want to get to this so badly. And this is regarding the job performance of Eric Holcomb, your current governor.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you want to? I'll let you have the pleasure.
Well, you are led to believe by the establishment and the elitists and the big business community. I mean, what with them always rolling over and playing dead for him and doing whatever he wants and cowering, and the way the General Assembly cowers in a corner for this guy, that he is the most popular politician in this country since Ronald Reagan or Barack Obama. If Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama had some sort of miracle political baby together, they would have birthed out Eric Holcomb. And gosh darn it, Casey, according to our friends over there at Emerson and the Hill, Holcomb coming in at a whopping 35% approval rating.
Yeah, 35% approving while 31% disapproving.
And 33% say, this guy's done such a bad job, we don't even know how to have an opinion. This is why I've never understood. I've never understood why the Indiana General Assembly has allowed this clown to steamroll them, because he's not popular. Holcomb was reelected in 2020 because a bunch of Democrats who liked the fact that Holcomb was governing as a Democrat crossed over to vote for him. All of those people plus who went to Rainwater on the Republican side were made up for by Democrats crossing over to vote for Holcomb because they like the mask mandates, they like the shutdowns, they like the tax increases, they like the crony capitalism, they like the growth in government. And yet the General Assembly treats this guy like he is some sort of mega mandate, just like he's Mitch Daniels all over again. And it's never made any sense to me. And he's going out the door, not even hobbling. He's like Tiny Tim with the crutch at this point.
He's like underwater.
Why did you people, I would love to know why these just Mensa members down the street from us spent 7.5 years, going on 8 years, cowering in a corner and giving this guy whatever he wanted because he's not popular among Republicans.
Do you think this is why he continues to leave the country, because he knows he's not liked in his own great state of Indiana?
Well,
I gotta get out of here.
By the way, and I know I got to get you a break, but just there was one other part of this that I wanted to make sure we touch on. Now our old friend, on-demand abortion lunatic, Destiny Wells, she was huffing and puffing on social media and sticking her chest out, and boy, she was big and bad. And remember, in the Democrat poll, everybody's concerned about abortion. Number one issue: I'm within striking distance of Rokita. It's razor thin. It's within the margin. Boy, she was a Billy badass. I bet we don't hear so much about her today, from her today. By the way, she was fighting with Tony. She's fighting with Dan Dockich.
Yeah.
Want to take a guess, Casey, on what old Emerson has the Rokita Destiny Wells race at?
Well, I don't have to guess because I have it in front of me, but it is a commanding lead that Todd Rokita has over Destiny Wells.
49.3 to 35.2. She's actually, according to this poll, getting a lesser percentage of the vote than she did against Diego Morales in 2020 or 2022. And Casey, what did we say? Again, full circle. Least favorite part of the show. What did we say?
Yeah.
If you can't do over 40 against Diego Morales, who is a complete buffoon and totally unqualified, Todd Rokita, as much as I dislike the guy, is an infinitely better candidate than Diego Morales. And if she couldn't give 40 against Diego, there's no way she's doing any better against Rokita. And thank you. And by the way, I want to see the Democrats crap on their friends over at Fox 59 and CBS 4 now and dismiss this poll.
So the number one concern among respondents for this poll, economy, jobs, inflation, taxes at 43%.
It's not abortion?
It's not abortion.
It's not abortion?
That's not even in second or third place.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, I know we got to get to a break. I know we've gone long in this segment, but Casey, it's almost like the Democrats in this state are full of crap and lied to everyone.
Almost like that, Rob. Almost. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
In Detroit, Kamala rolls out this bizarre accent.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
I would love it if that's how she talked in meetings. Kamala Harris goes up there sounding like Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say, somebody better turn the Fox News off the television.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Are you a business owner or professional looking to make an impact towards a greater cause? If so, please join us for a powerful morning of hope and action at the Hope Starts Here breakfast on September 19th at Lucas Estates. I'm Pastor Nathan Peternell, and Life Church wants to invite you to join us in supporting the fight against sex slavery while partnering with Project Rescue. Enjoy a time of networking, a free breakfast, hear some inspiring stories, and learn how you too can make a difference. Together we can bring hope and freedom to those in need. For more information, go to lifechurchin.com.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop-and-hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here, letting you know that when you need plumbing help, call who I call, my friends at Hope Plumbing. During the month of September, Hope will take $100 off a $500 or more plumbing service. Sounds like a fantastic deal to me. So if you notice a water leak, a clogged drain, or have any other plumbing needs, big or small, Hope Plumbing can fix them all. Hope Plumbing, 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
What is 988? It's a way forward. It's a listening ear. It's whatever help you need, when you need it. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers trained crisis specialists, ready to talk to you 24/7. If you or someone you love is experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis in their life, call or text 988. Want more information? Visit 988indiana.org.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
18 years ago, Tom and Sarah Joyner started Joyner Homes in Greenfield, and to date, they've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. The homes they build are different than the cookie-cutter houses you see today. They build homes that have the character like the homes of yesterday, but have modern features, character-rich features, exposed wood beams, stone fireplaces, custom build-ins, and smart design. Building a new home doesn't have to be a headache. Joyner Homes will build you a truly unique, beautiful home. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Chris Whittakin here. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org for a free second opinion so we can keep you absolutely comfortable every day, all day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Attention all Hoosiers, a historically important election is headed our way. The time to prepare for the election is now. Are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to vote? The Indiana Secretary of State's office wants to remind you, registering to vote or updating your registration is fast, easy, and can be done online at indianavoters.com. You must be registered 30 days before Election Day, so get registered and get out to vote. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State's office.
Yeah!
So Donald Trump is blaming the Democrats for rhetoric that caused another assassination attempt. And as I was researching for the show last night, I came across this article from NBC, and I just have to discuss part of it with you. The headline says, Trump dispenses with unity and blames Democrats.
Oh!
And then you go into the article, the very first paragraph. Former President Donald Trump and his allies are fanning political flames.
Oh.
After Secret Service detail thwarted what is, according to FBI, the apparent second attempt to assassinate him in less than 10 weeks.
Well, and let's give some credit to Kev there because he tried to help us out. He came in with the Warren Zevon lawyers, guns, and money because it's appropriate. He also knows I love Warren Zevon. And with your zest to get to the story, you crapped all over the Warren Zevon. Also, you don't want me to have
any joy.
Nice things.
You had your Holcomb moment. You had your poll to start the show.
You were stepping on a classic. You got to let those things breathe.
Yeah, anyway. Well, look, what is the takeaway from this? What, the media is biased? What?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But it's just a message to everybody as you're doing your research. You have to read through what is being written because this is clearly siding with the Democrats.
Well, this is my question, though, is other than the echo chamber, who is that actually influencing? Like, who's going to read that and go, yeah, I mean, what, let me rephrase it. What reasonable person is going to read that and go, you know what? They're right. Trump did this to himself. No reasonable person, no person that is winnable in an election is going to be like, Lester Holt was right. It's clearly Trump talking about illegal immigration that did this to him. Screw that guy.
Well, Donald Trump, he did drop some of the receipts on all of the Democrats who contributed to the things that were said against him. For example, Kamala Harris repeatedly saying Trump is a threat to our democracy and fundamental freedoms. She also said it's on us to recognize the threat Trump poses. Joe Biden saying it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. Do you remember when he said that?
All those.
Joe Biden also saying, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump is a threat to this nation. All of these things that were said about Donald Trump. And this one was trending yesterday. Here's Congressman Dan Goldman calling for Trump to be eliminated.
His rhetoric is really getting dangerous, more and more dangerous. And we saw what happened on January 6th when he uses inflammatory rhetoric now, and his recent Truth Social post is incredibly, incredibly scary for anyone that might be trying to work in government. And it is just unquestionable at this point that man cannot see public office again. He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
What else could he possibly mean than when he says he has to be eliminated?
Well, of course, right? I mean, there's clips of Kamala. Heck, Hillary Clinton was out yesterday calling him a dictator, right? I mean, that clip has now made them. I mean, these people are shameless. They know exactly what they're doing. I think there are many of them who would be just fine if he were to be killed. And these people are telling you who they are. They're showing you who they are, and you have to vote accordingly on that. If you think those are the sort of people you want running your society, then there they are. They're right in front of you, and you have the opportunity to do that. Here's the thing, though. They won't stop with him. They will not stop with him. They will eventually, that's the way these people operate. It's the way the left operates. It has to continually keep eating. There will be one boogeyman after another. If Trump is done, then it'll be Ron DeSantis. If Ron DeSantis is done, it'll be Ted Cruz. If Ted Cruz is done, it'll be Rand. I mean, it will never end. You have to end it. And by end it, I mean end it at the ballot box. You have to stand up for yourself and tell these people, we are not going to let you sickos run our society because, quite frankly, you've done a horrible job at it.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
The hot summer and the hot deals are coming at Tom Roush Lincoln. 0% for 60 months is back. Get 0% APR for 60 months on every new 2024 Lincoln Navigator. Plus get an additional $4,000 off MSRP. You can also take $3,000 off every new 2024 Lincoln Corsair 70 available. So get in here for one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
For well-qualified buyers with approved credit, not all buyers will qualify. Taxes and dealer fees extra. Stock number L24401. MSRP 107,425. Stock number L24284. MSRP is 43,435. See dealer for complete details.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Twice in just months. It's 69 and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Federal investigators are diving headlong to figure out as much as they can about the latest assassination attempt on former President Trump. Fox's Gernal Scott.
As Ryan Wesley Ruth is held on federal gun charges, FBI Miami Special Agent in Charge Jeffrey Veltri said they are looking at Ruth's record, including stolen goods and a 2019 tip,
where it was alleged he was a felon in possession of a firearm.
Now that former President Trump's life has been threatened twice in 2 months, Acting Secret Service Director Ron Rose says his agency will look at how these attacks were handled. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs says he's looking forward to clearing his name in court. Combs was arrested by the feds in New York City Monday. Charges against him remain sealed for now, but that's expected to change sometime today. Nearly a dozen lawsuits have been filed against him, though, claiming physical abuse or sex trafficking. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Lots of gains to start the day. The Dow was up 116 to 42,173. The NASDAQ up 126 to 19,791. And the S&P 500 is up 22 to 5,721. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, what's up? Hammer and Nigel here. We are both customers of Window Nation. Window Nation came out to the Hammer House. They measured everything multiple times. They got it right the first time. They were in, they were out, and now my house looks amazing, and my heating and air bill has gone down because of my awesome energy-efficient windows.
Yeah, Hammer, I had the same experience. Hey, you could buy 2 windows, get 2 free with 0 down and no interest for 24 months. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sometimes it feels like it's next to impossible being a teenager these days.
There's so much uncertainty, pressure, and comparison.
That's why I'm so thankful to be a student athlete. I'm Lena Jones from Plymouth High School.
And I'm Whitman Horton from Crawfordsville High School. High school sports surround student athletes with people who can build us up when we struggle.
Our coaches mentor us in the game and in life.
Our teammates become our best friends as we work together.
We have support from everyone around us. Managers, parents, fans, our entire communities.
It really does take a village because they all contribute. They all make sacrifices. They all want to see us succeed.
Having people who have our back and believe in us lifts us up unlike anything else.
I am IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Be a champion of high school sports and the encouraging environment it provides by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. This is supporting student athletes. This is believing in high schools. This is your IHSAA.
Fall in Indy is great, but don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house and all the pillars, and once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and that would be the way to go.
And here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Is it one of the greatest love songs of all time?
It's one of the 10 greatest songs of all time, period, Casey.
You think so?
It's one of these songs that messed me up. It's like The Lady in Red.
Yeah.
It's like one of these songs that made me believe that that's how it was supposed to be. Like I was supposed to have the feelings that Kevin Cronin did.
Of all the Ario Speedwagon songs, that's the one you
And I
latched
just
on
spent
to.
years throwing women overboard left and right because it wasn't quite like the song.
It wasn't magical.
When in reality, it was pretty darn good, and I was making egregious mistakes.
Probably. Okay, so there's a reason we're bringing up Ario Speedwagon. Yesterday, they announced pretty much they're done. They
didn't pretty much. They said
they're not touring. They're over.
So what's fascinating?
Longtime fans will be disappointed by that.
Well, what's fascinating about Ario Speedwagon is, and they have for years capitalized on this, they've been very cognizant of their lane, and they have done very well mastering their lane, which is, hey, look, we're not going to be playing stadium shows anymore. And they have done exceptionally well with great attendance at playing places like White River. Mm-hmm. They've teamed up with groups like Styx or Foreigner, and they've done, Ruoff. But you look at the staying power of Ario Speedwagon, and people are going to laugh about this. 40 million albums, 13 top 40 hits, and 2 number ones. Mm-hmm. I mean, that Wheels of Turning album, which I think was like, 84 maybe. And I know that people, they sold out and Kevin Cronin this and spare me. You know, where they sold out right to the bank and I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore is frickin' awesome, Casey. It's an awesome frickin' song. So you can take your sellout and shove it right up your backside. Mm-hmm. But there is something endearing from our perspective as Hoosiers, endearing about Ario Speedwagon because they were from right across the state line, and they really very early on, I mean, my dad tells this story all the time that he remembers in the early 1970s seeing them play in a surface parking lot in Terre Haute long before they were big, and they've really always had a special place in their heart for Indiana because of their proximity to the state.
So they announced yesterday to our fans, Bruce has intended to be back on the road by now. If it were up to him, he'd be back on tour. But it's not up to just him. The consensus opinion was that he had not recovered sufficiently to be able to perform. So they had irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, so Bruce Hall, who's the bassist, he's also one of the singers, and then Neil Doty is the other guy who was an original along with Kevin Cronin. So one of the cool things about Ario Speedwagon was, we talk about the fake Styx and the fake Foreigner and the fake Journey, where they bring these guys in who
fake Queen.
I mean, that was a little different, though. That was a tribute to Freddie Mercury. They were totally honest with their audience. They were like, look, we're bringing in Paul Rodgers because Paul Rodgers is great. And this is a tribute to Freddie Mercury, and we'd like to do this before we all go the way of the dinosaur. They didn't present to you, hey, this is Queen. Styx and Foreigner and all these guys, they're out there acting like, hey, these are the
original members.
The guy skis you saw in the 80s. But at least with Ario Speedwagon, for all those years, especially before Gary Richrath died in 2015, there was that core group that you could say, hey, these are mostly the same guys if not in the originality, that I saw at their peak in the late 1970s and early 1980s. These are still the same guys making the same music, playing the same songs, and that's something kind of special about that you didn't have with a lot of the other aforementioned groups.
So they said, it is with great sadness that we announce Ario Speedwagon will cease touring effective January 1st, 2025. So they're done, and that's a sad day. And don't you dare, Rob, don't you dare make me tell you about the time I sent a mixtape to a boy featuring Ario Speedwagon.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Roll with the changes, baby, as soon as you are able.
No, wait.
And I'm willing.
Time out. Yeah. You said something, and I was processing it. You know how, like, when you're talking, I'm usually not listening.
Sure.
But then I caught part of it, so I started really trying to pay attention. And I feel like I need that whole thought over again. You did what?
I sent a mixtape to a boy once featuring...
Was this Kirk Herbstreit when you were in the throes of rivalry with Jenny Ruby?
No. This was freshman year of college. It was 1988.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you want to get someone's attention, you send them a single.
Now this because some of our audience was not around in the 70s, and so you took.
I know that you were just 4 years old, not even in kindergarten yet when this was happening.
You took. So like you were listening to the radio, you recorded. This is the way we used to do this. Now I was an old person when I was 10, so I used to do this too. But you would record your favorite song on the radio.
Or you would take the dual cassette deck.
Yeah.
Do you know that was the thing?
Yeah, of course.
You get a boom box with 2 cassette decks on it, and you could be playing one of the cassettes on one side and recording that on the other one.
Oh, that's crazy.
So what you did is you took the full cassette deck from Ario Speedwagon, and you would play Roll with the Changes or Time for Me to Fly, and then record it on that 5-minute single.
So there was some guy in college that you had some...
He made the wrong choice, clearly.
Did he choose Jenny Ruby too?
He did. He chose Jenny Ruby too. Now, here's the thing. You said, is this a Kirk Herbstreit story? I can't even remember the guy's name.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's how much he meant to me.
So let's walk through this process here. I didn't know we were going to go down this rabbit hole, but now we're not getting out of it. So you record Time for Me to Fly as a way to...
Actually, it was Roll with the Changes.
Oh, Roll with the Changes. Okay.
Yeah.
So here was the one problem I had with Kevin Cronin is that he was a complete hypocritical piece of garbage on a lot of his lyrics. Because on one hand, it was keep on loving you, keep pushing on, but then there's also Time for Me to Fly. You know, roll with the changes. Yeah. It seems to be a conflicting message.
You got to know when to hold them.
Right. So you gave. Wait. It was. What was it again?
It was Roll with the Changes.
Roll with the Changes.
Yeah.
You gave this. What did you like? Slide it under his dorm room. The door.
He put it in his mailbox in the dorm room.
Did he know who you were?
Of course he knew who I was.
So you write to Harold, love me, Casey.
Yeah. And that was, it was a short-lived romance.
And did it work? Like, did you get...
Clearly, it did not work.
No. I don't mean in the sense of, like, did you end up with this guy happily ever after? Did he get that mixtape and was like, sure, sign me up for some of this?
No, he did not. And
you got no response?
Well, you couldn't text back then, and we weren't in the same dorm.
But you didn't go over to his dorm and be like, hey, did you get
it was wintertime.
I thought you'd enjoy this tape.
So he was way across campus.
So that was it? You just did that and that was the end of it?
That was it. Yeah.
So you just wanted him to pursue you after that.
Ario Speedwagon did not work for me.
So you committed a federal crime by messing with his mailbox. You put a cassette tape in this guy's mailbox and then there was no follow-up?
No, I asked the RA to put it in his mailbox.
Oh, okay.
And I assumed the RA did put it in the mailbox.
You don't even know?
Well, I mean...
Harold may have never gotten the mixtape?
We could have been living happily ever after all this time.
Oh, my goodness. Poor you, Casey. Poor you. Okay. Oh, by the way, the final scheduled show right now
for Ario Speedwagon
is at the where the Kentucky basketball team plays in November. Now, I don't know if they're going to maybe add some shows since they're saying we're donezo, but right now in late November, the final Ario Speedwagon concert is scheduled for Lexington, which is where they Rupp Arena. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So maybe we ought to road trip as a Thanksgiving treat to the show.
Okay.
And maybe we just go down there.
I'm on board. Can we hit the Bourbon Trail?
I'm really tempted to maybe. Now I'm going to need you at full strength though. I don't want you, passing out at 7:30.
Well,
we're not even in the golden country yet. I mean, come on.
You never know. What Ario Speedwagon clearly makes me do crazy things, so you never know what'll happen if we road trip down to Lexington. You know what we get? Let's get in Kevin's van and do that. You're listening to Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Big time Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Not Kenny Rogers. Jeff Boggs will join us. The latest on the Trump assassination attempt. And we're going to have some fun. 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving prices down. Maximize your home sale now with the market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Deedle. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Dee and Andrew in Noblesville had to say about working with Mark Deedle. We were done with the rat race and ready to live the dream of buying a camper and traveling west. We needed top cash from our home to make the dream work. Thankfully, we hired Mark Deedle, who delivered big time. Our home sold for our asking price in 4 days on the market. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETL.com.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
Advent is now open in Indianapolis and Avon. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Psst. Can you hear me? So can your customers.
Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Head to the WIBC contest page and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra's brand new show on Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. And while supplies last, you can purchase tickets for just $49.99 plus fees.
As soon as you are able, woman, I am weak.
And suddenly, with Kevin's choice of bumper music, I'm 18 on a college campus again.
So, if you missed last segment, Casey revealed something that is simply unbelievable. But she said it, and I know it happened. She made, Ario Speedwagon announced they're breaking up after 50 years. They're not going to tour anymore, and that's it. And you said that when you were in college, you made a mixtape of
Ario Speedwagon.
With the
Roll with the Changes.
Roll with the Changes. Thank you. And I just so wish. But then the weird thing is, and sometimes you do things and it astounds me. You admitted there was no follow-up. Like you didn't even ask the guy, did you get the tape? You were invested in some RA putting it in his mailbox. You don't know whether he got the tape. You don't know whether he listened to it. You don't know whether the tape was damaged. And I am floored with all sincerity that you went to all of that effort to make that tape and then there was no follow-up. Like you didn't even put in the bare minimum effort of, what did you think of my tape?
Yeah, the communication kind of ended after that. I think I came on too strong.
But
Was
you
that
don't
a
know.
possibility?
Maybe you did. You
was
don't
that like
know.
was that like crazy girl move to do that?
No, I don't know how you did it in the 70s. I don't know. I wasn't there.
It was in the 70s.
But it was the complete lack of follow-up. Like you put all of this effort in to make this thing.
Yeah.
And then there was no.
Well, here's the deal. See, he was interested in one thing from me.
Yeah. How do you know? Did he get it?
He was interested in one thing from me, Rob, and I wanted it to be more of a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was trying to tell him, yeah, you know what? If you're into a relationship,
right,
then okay. And when he didn't get back to me, I got the message that he was only interested in the one thing.
He didn't want to roll with the changes.
He did not want to roll with the change. He wanted to roll something else.
You did the thing. You believed in the music.
I did.
You did the thing.
But I chose roll with the changes, not I can't fight this feeling anymore. Do you understand now? Is the picture clear to
Everybody's
you?
driving down the road, but they know exactly what I'm saying when they're like, you believed in the music. And so many guys of that era, whether it was the Dennis DeYoung stuff with Styx or Steve Perry with Journey, or obviously Kevin Cronin with Ario Speedwagon. I don't know. I always thought Lou Graham was kind of a weirdo. I didn't think Foreigner had quite the emotional. Like when they did that I Want to Know What Love Is song, that was kind of past their height of the Foreigner.
So you never took a hairbrush and sang into your full-length mirror Jukebox Hero. You never played the 1984.
I wasn't born, Casey.
Over and over.
I was not
again.
born. But I just never thought there was like the emotional attachment to Foreigner that some of these other guys had. Anyway, I don't know. And we've probably spent too much time on this, but I just love the fact that you had no follow-up whatsoever about. You didn't even be like, why would you buy the cow if I give you the milk for free? I mean, you didn't do any of that. There was
I put the effort in. I dropped off the mixtape, and when I didn't get the message back from him, I understood.
But he may have not even heard it, Casey.
No, he heard it.
He must have just not been an Ario Speedwagon fan.
It could have been that,
I mean,
too.
it could have meant anything to roll with the. I mean, like
it could have been that he was only interested in one thing.
Well, it could have been, but I mean, let's work through this. As soon as you are able, woman, and I am willing, to make the break that we are all on the brink of, my cup is on the table, my love is spilling, waiting here for you to take a drink of.
Do you see? This is so embarrassing. Can we move on?
So if you're tired of the same old story, turn some pages.
Yes, if he's tired of the same,
But here's the thing, and I think this is the out you gave him, and it's the next line, which is I was building up to it. This is why you picked a bad song. I'll be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. You're basically telling this guy, I will sit around and wait for you while you're doing who knows what to which floozies.
Yes.
I'll be sitting in my dorm room waiting for you to come back.
How stupid was that of me? But I stopped waiting. I got the message. He wasn't interested.
He didn't run out of floozies?
He didn't. He wanted to keep rolling with different changes, and I was not down for it.
This is why our show's number one.
Okay, let's talk about what happened with Chris Cuomo. He was calling out the media, saying that it was their lack of reaction to the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump that was bad.
Oh.
And actually, he issued an apology to Donald Trump.
I don't get it. That's why I reached out to Trump. I wanted to just say, listen, I'm really sorry that this is going on and it's being dealt with this way. Not because I'm in favor of his politics or what he says. I criticize him all the time. That's my job, and he deserves it. But he doesn't deserve this. A guy pointing an AK-47 at him while he's playing golf? And we take solace in the fact that the guy didn't get any rounds off. If If I had been through what that guy's been through in the last 2 months, you would not know where I am. You would never see me on TV again.
Okay, so he also laid into Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, saying that they weren't doing enough and their responses were just canned, and he condemned all the political violence and expressed relief that Trump wasn't harmed.
But wasn't he a part of the problem?
He was earlier.
I mean, you know, like as Christians, we should accept and embrace people who are willing to admit mistakes and claim that they're sorry, and we have an obligation, I think, to hear that out and be open about accepting those words. But I feel like there's a disconnect of him saying, well, I don't like his politics. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one thing to not like someone's politics, and he's totally 100% entitled to. But the conversation and dialogue, especially with him and his brother, that was going on. Remember when they were the Frickin' Frack show during COVID?
Right.
Like, what, you don't think you and the people that you've buddied up with, you don't think played a role in doing this? It seems like there's maybe a little bit of a disconnect there.
It does seem a little hypocritical, doesn't it? Like he's seen the error in his ways and he's turning the page, rolling with the changes.
Yeah, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Kev, do we believe she doesn't remember that guy's name? I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I think it was Chris. Yeah. I think.
You think?
You
love the guy enough to make a mixtape for him?
I wouldn't say love.
Well, do I need to read the lyrics to you again?
No, you don't. Please don't.
I knew it had to happen.
Oh, no.
Felt the tables turning.
Mm-hmm.
Got me through my darkest hour.
Yeah.
I heard the thunder clapping.
Uh-huh.
Felt the desert burning.
Mm-hmm.
Until you poured on me like a sweet sun shower.
Never going to be vulnerable again. It is Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Consumer warning. Stay away from stablecoin Tether. Tether is a cryptocurrency company with a so-called stablecoin called USDT. It's supposed to be backed one for one by the US dollar. But Tether's murky past exposes Americans to outsized risk, shady practices, false claims, legal entanglements, deliberate lack of transparency. The United Nations called Tether the preferred choice for regional cyber fraud operations and money launderers. Tether has never published an independent audit of its finances and operations. Financial rating company S&P gave Tether a high-risk rating, a major red flag. Warning. Owning a stablecoin that isn't independently audited comes with enormous risk. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Steer clear of stablecoin Tether. Visit tetherwarning.com to learn more. Paid for by Consumers Research.
I've been playing sports all my life. Little football, basketball, pickleball, cross training, mud events, Spartan races and things like that.
For Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor, staying active means everything. So when nagging knee pain slowed him down, he didn't want drugs or invasive surgery. He found a natural way to get lasting relief. QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies.
We're using my body's natural abilities to get better. And that's huge. In time, that's going to be the way of the future. Using your own body's ability to heal. Now I can play day to day and not have that severe pain.
Now he's back out there doing what he loves, thanks to QC Kinetics.
Life is good. You're not going to slow me down.
Leave the pain behind and get moving. Book your free consultation today with QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. In Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, Governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a couple shootings not too far apart from each other. Plus, Harrison Silcox reports on a shooting involving a police officer in Fort Wayne. And a study says overall, Indiana's a good place for teachers to have a job. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers studios. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WYBC, WYBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Diddy, due in court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The morning after rapper and music producer Sean Combs was arrested in New York City.
His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life.
His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, says Combs is not guilty.
We know what the charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be sex trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March.
Referencing raids at some of his properties in a federal trafficking investigation this year. And the indictment has just been unsealed, indeed, charging Combs with sex trafficking and racketeering. Combs has also been accused of sexual assault in lawsuits. Speaking of trafficking, an appeals court has upheld Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction. She was convicted of helping wealthy investor Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse teenage girls. He committed suicide in jail after his arrest. 2 days after the second Trump assassination attempt.
The state of Florida has jurisdiction over the most serious, straightforward offense, which is attempted murder.
That's Governor Ron DeSantis, who says they're still investigating the suspect, who so far has only been charged with federal gun crimes.
They have the man behind bars, and hopefully he's going to be there for a long time. Dangerous person, very, very dangerous person.
The former president on X Spaces also praised Secret Service for spotting the gun poking through a fence as he played golf at Trump International in West Palm Beach, Florida. Former President Trump also says he should get more protection as he blames Democrats, calling him a threat to democracy, making him a target. Today, Secret Service has to secure a Trump town hall in Flint, Michigan.
Michigan is the auto worker state. While the United Auto Workers Union has already endorsed Vice President Harris, there is a group of UAW members and retirees backing the former president, called Auto Workers for Trump.
That's Fox's Rich Edson. Now, the vice president will also campaign this week in Michigan. In Philadelphia today, she'll be in a gathering of black journalists. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They were close together. It's 73 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Two double shootings within hours and yards of each other early this morning. The first was just around 1 a.m. near Capitol and 34th. A man and a woman shot.
Yes, they were together at the same time when they were shot. But they didn't describe any vehicles or any people in the area. They heard some shots, and all of a sudden they were shot.
IMPD Captain John Arvin. Two other people were then shot in a separate shooting about a block away a little over an hour later. There was a police shooting near downtown Fort Wayne Monday. Harrison Silcox.
Officers responded around 1:30 that afternoon to a call about a man who hit his wife before pulling a gun on her. Just when officers found the suspect vehicle on their way to the scene, the suspect rammed it into a cop's car before hitting the gas and fleeing the scene. He was then followed by police into an alley, which is where the gunshots wound up being fired. The suspect died at the scene. No officers were hurt. Standard procedure. is to have those officers now go on administrative leave while the shooting is investigated. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana is one of the top 10 best states for teachers, so says Wallet Hub. A study found that Indiana satisfies several key areas such as salary growth, public school spending, and about 24 other factors.
New York ranked number 1, followed by Washington, Virginia, Utah, and Maryland.
Diana Polk with Wallet Hub. Gas prices in Indiana are going down. Gas Buddies Patrick DeHaan says stations will be spending considerable time under $3 a gallon, but occasionally you'll see prices go back up because of price cycling. All that stands between the Indiana Fever and their eventual trip to the WNBA playoffs is the Washington Mystics. Caitlin Clark aware that they too want to play in the postseason.
We know that Washington's going to be fighting for that last playoff spot too. So, our goal has been one at a time. I thought we've done a really good job of that.
Tip-off Thursday in D.C. at 7 o'clock. I'm Kirk Darling. On the Level, on the go, and on WYBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com and grow your hair back today.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 17th. It's 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So the 58-year-old man who attempted to assassinate Donald Trump was charged with 2 gun counts in his initial appearance in federal court yesterday. So he was charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and also possession of a firearm with a obliterated serial number. So it had been scratched off. So the first count, he could face up to 15 years in prison if convicted, and the second count, 5 years possibly if he was convicted.
So the question remains, all the questions. Okay, so let's just logically work through these, which we did yesterday, but for a refresher in case somebody missed the show. The son, who doesn't appear to have any axe to grind, seems like a pretty straightforward guy, admits he hates Donald Trump, so I mean he has no reason to make any of this up, claims his father was living in Hawaii. Now this guy is most identified with North Carolina, but the son claims he was living in Hawaii and he didn't even know he was back in the continental United States. So the question is, how does this guy with no known, hard ties to the area, get back into the continental United States? How is he funding that? How is this guy funding his lifestyle, period? Because he was over in the Ukraine, et cetera. Then how does he know where to go? How does he know when to be there? How does he get the gun? Because the serial number had been filed off. How does he get the gun? How does he get the automobile? And how does he get all of this planned out? Because he clearly, while, I heard Guy Relford talking about this yesterday, the guy was kind of an idiot based on the fact that he had that barrel sticking out of the bushes, which is stupid. But luckily for Trump and the country, he is stupid. But how does he put all of that together? I mean, there's so many unanswered questions. And the hope right now from everybody should be he doesn't unalive himself, because a lot of things really went his way. It's one thing if one thing goes your way. There seem to be a lot of things that really went his way that I'd like answers to.
Okay, so it's being reported that he staked out on that tree line for 12 hours waiting for Trump to appear. It's also being reported that the license plate on the vehicle that he fled to and was driving away in was from a stolen truck.
Right.
Okay, and So you've got to, like you said, find out where he was getting his money from. Not only how did he get the gun, but how did he get from Hawaii to Florida? I mean, that's not a cheap endeavor.
And the son claimed, well, he doesn't even own a gun. So this is not some guy who is at least while he is a nut, you look at his social media posts and you realize in his actions, you realize the guy is a nut. But he wasn't some guy that you looked at and said, well, he has a long history of expertise in various reconnaissance or whatever necessary to try to pull this off. But he certainly, I mean, maybe there's more that's going to come out that he did. But on the surface, you look at this and say, just like with the Thomas Crooks, that's his name, right? The guy that tried to, you got to be careful with that. Thomas Crooks, that he also was like, there's not a lot here that would say this guy is some military tactician, but it certainly appeared this guy, short of being a complete bonehead with that long range weapon, would have maybe been able to pull this off.
So they did release the body cam footage of him being arrested, and Ron DeSantis came out and said that Florida is going to do their own investigation of this, mostly because the DOJ has already been weaponized against Trump. So why would you trust them to do the investigation on who was attempting to assassinate him?
Well, and then the sheriff came out and alluded to the fact that there could be a conspiracy?
He did.
So I don't think that makes us conspiracy theorists now if the local law enforcement down there is already alluding to the fact that he could have been a part of a broader plan or multiple people being involved in the plan. So I think now we can begin to go down that path of saying, what are the possibilities of this, seeing as how the sheriff of that county has certainly opened that up for discussion.
Okay, now you wanted to discuss this clip from Ross Perot.
I saw this. Sometimes the internet is a cesspool of awful, and sometimes it just works perfectly. And one of the things clearly that's going on in this country is we have a group of, and it seems to grow by the day, of incredibly unstable people who are not getting the love and support they need, that they feel that this is how they need to respond to politicians, to respond to anyone, period. I think it's much bigger than this guy. But one of the things that we talk about on this show is, and we have quite often, is that government cannot solve this problem. Government cannot solve the education crisis in this country. Government cannot solve the way children are behaving in this country, about how young people, we hear all the time, these acts of violence that young people are committing against each other and other people. And we keep trying to say, look, while there are certain actions government can take maybe to help, ultimately it's going to rest in a total change in how family is viewed in this country and how children are raised in this country, because they are being, in many cases, left alone. They're not having the proper adult figures, in many cases, certainly not the adult father figures they need. And if somebody is indoctrinated or not educated or not given the environment growing up, they will be a product of the environment in which they are raised, right? Yeah. And I saw this clip, Ross Perot, who had he not quit and then come back, remember, people forget, Ross Perot quit in 1992 over something with his daughter. The media came after his daughter. He got angry, quit. He was never the same. He was actually winning in some polls before that. He very well could have been the president of the United States. And he was asked in a debate about various issues facing the country and how you address them. And he gave this answer, and it was 32 years ago, but is still perfect and is exactly what we talk about on this program today.
Mr. Perot, you have 1 minute.
If I had to solve all the problems that face this country, and I could be granted one wish as we started down the trail to rebuild the job base, the schools, and so on and so forth, I would say a strong family unit in every home, where every child is loved, nurtured, and encouraged. A little child before they're 18 months learns to think well of himself or herself or poorly. They develop a positive or negative self-image. At a very early age, they learn how to learn. If we have children who are not surrounded with love and affection, see, I look at my grandchildren and wonder if they'll ever learn to walk, because they're always in someone's arms. And I think, my gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful if every child had that love and support? But they don't. We will not be a great country unless we have a strong family unit in every home. And I think you can use the White House as a bully pulpit to stress the importance of these little children, particularly in their young and formative years, to mold these little precious pieces of clay so that they too can live rich, full lives when they're grown.
This is the only way you will solve what's going on in this country, and that is a huge lift to reshape the value that we place on family and the stable family unit in this country, because people are being raised. Well, they're not being raised at all in many cases, but they're being raised not to value human life, not to treat others with decency, to respect others. They are, I mean, all of these things are happening. So by the time these people become young adults or certainly actual adults, they're too far gone. The behavior is already molded into them. And Ross Perot, even though that was 32 years ago and the country was a much different country back then, he's absolutely right.
Do you see the similarities between Ross Perot and Donald Trump?
Oh, there's
both
many.
Successful businessmen,
Yeah.
both very pro-family.
Now, Perot wasn't nearly as, I don't know, over the top as Trump is. But he's, I saw that and I said, we have to play that because that is how you're going to fix this country. And that is, I don't know if it's capable. I don't know if it can happen. But that's where we need to start. Until you fix the family, until you fix the way kids are being raised, until you fix the way they become adults, this is not going to get any better.
It is True Crime Tuesday, and coming up, we're going to speak with Doug Coons. He is a former FBI agent, and we're going to talk about the Trump assassination attempt and also investigating it. That's on the way from 93 WIBC. This could be one of the most consequential votes of our lifetime.
Who will be our next governor?
U.S. Senator. Our next president.
Who will represent us in the General Assembly?
You have a voice with your one vote.
Unhappy with the current state of affairs? You can do something about it.
Voting is one of our most important rights as Americans.
It's how you can stand up for your beliefs,
your values,
and for future generations. A reminder to make your vote count on November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th.
From WIBC
and Urban One.
Close your eyes and picture it. The warm sun on your face. The sound of waves lapping against the shore. What if I told you that feeling of summer relaxation could be yours all year round? At Howard Bailey Financial, we specialize in retirement planning that lets you embrace that summer state of mind every day. Imagine knowing that your future is secure. With our expert advisors, we'll craft a personalized retirement plan tailored to your dreams. Whether it's traveling the world or pursuing your passions, we'll ensure that your retirement is as carefree and fulfilling as a relaxing summer afternoon. Embrace a summer state of mind and text SUMMER to 888-494-5004 to download our complimentary retirement toolkit and experience your retirement planning with confidence.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TSY.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft. In a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it. Guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Can you hear me?
So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Changing the way Indy thinks about concrete.
Kendall and Casey present True Crime Tuesday on 93 WIBC.
It is the Kendall Casey show on 93 WIBC, and this is something that we do on Tuesdays. It is True Crime Tuesday, and this is where we take an expert and we examine some very famous criminal cases, many times involving murder or other heinous crimes. But in this instance, we wanted to take a former FBI agent and ask him about his expertise about an event that happened over the weekend. And I'm speaking of the attempted assassination attempt again on Donald Trump. And joining us for True Crime Tuesday is former FBI agent Doug Coons. Doug, thank you for joining me today. I hear you're making the rounds on a lot of different shows.
Right. Yeah, this is a popular topic lately.
Yeah, well, people want to know what's going on. So I guess let's just start with, because you have expertise in the area, what are the steps that the FBI takes in a situation like this?
So there's a lot to do on something like this, and it's of an urgent nature. So probably the whole local field office is working on this. And basically, they're retracing this person's steps over the past days, weeks, months, even years, to see things like where he's been, what he was doing there, who he was talking to, what he was talking about. They'll be examining his social media activity. They'll be getting court orders to get into his phones and computers. They'll be getting court orders to do searches of his vehicles, of his home. They'll be interviewing neighbors, friends, coworkers, family. And the goal of all of this is to figure out the motivation. And is he just a lone wolf, or is he part of a larger conspiracy?
So they're painting a picture around his motive, is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now you mentioned that it's an urgent nature, and I guess it's urgent because we don't want these things disappearing during an investigation?
Well, that, and this is on the eve of an election, what we're like 50 days out.
Mm-hmm.
If this was part of some larger conspiracy, are there other people? Are there going to be additional attempts? Also, you've got possibility of retaliation if the one side thinks that this incenses them to take action against somebody else. There's just a lot of unknowns here, and so it's interesting to see how the investigation unfolds. Because there's just a lot of speculation out right now, and just between when it happened and now, as I follow the news on this, a lot has been learned and released.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, information is coming out really rapidly. We've got Doug Coons, who is a former FBI agent, who is joining us for True Crime Tuesday. And this week, we're focusing on another attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. Now, you had mentioned the local office is working. How many people do you think that typically entails?
I don't know exactly how many agents and analysts are in that particular field office and how many are detailed to it. But, if it were here in Indianapolis, certainly the entire Joint Terrorism Task Force would be working on this, as well as other agents from different squads that would assist in things like the searches and some of the ancillary investigation that goes along with this, because there's going to be a lot of interviews to do.
Yeah. Do you think that they're pulling people off of other cases? Would this be a high priority for them? I would assume it is, but...
Oh, yeah. They'll, anything that's not urgent will get put on the back burner while they address this, because you've got things like, could this have possibly been assisted from someone inside? Like, one of my first thoughts as an investigator was, how did that person know that he was playing golf at that course on that day? Because typically an executive schedule like that, somebody that's a Secret Service protectee, that's held pretty close. And, I found out, or I saw in a news article today, he had been camped out in that spot for about 12 hours. Which I didn't know before. So, he must not have had super specific intel, but just to know that he would be golfing there on that day is concerning to me. And how did he have that information?
Now, you had mentioned that was concerning to you. Is there anything else that you have learned since the event that strikes you as interesting or a little odd? I mean, it seems, as a normie, it all seems odd to me, but this is something that you did for many years, so I'm wondering if there's anything that's striking you.
It's all very odd, like you said, and, I was an agent for over 20 years, and we never really had anything like this, not just one attempt a month ago, but now two. I'm old enough to remember the last attempt was on Reagan back in 80, whatever it was. So it's very unusual, and the political climate is very polarized right now. It's leading up to a heated election, and I think some people are just on edge right now. So hopefully this will be the last that we see of these kind of things, because there's just no place for violence as far as anything, but politics especially.
Yeah, Doug Coons is joining us. He's a former FBI agent, and this is part of True Crime Tuesday. We're focusing on the additional assassination attempt on Donald Trump that occurred over the weekend. Because it is Donald Trump, who is clearly a high-profile figure, does that create bigger challenges than what I would say, air quote, normal case?
I'm speculating here, but I would guess so. He's out doing his rallies and he's playing golf, and nobody wants to let these violent actors influence your behavior. So he's going to do what he's going to do. A golf course, you've got 3.5, 4 miles of course he's going to be following. Some of that borders a public road. There's going to be other golfers there. There's going to be golf staff. The Secret Service has this huge job of trying to protect him from all that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we only hear from them when they fail, right?
Exactly. You don't hear about the successes too often, and there are more than you know about. But I would imagine that they had some high-powered binoculars and scanning the tree lines and the fence line, and a very astute agent was able to spot the barrel of the gun sticking out and addressed it. So, unlike the one that we saw previously, very good attention here and spotted, and an arrest was made very quickly. Good communication between the service and the local agencies. I understand license plate reading technology was used after a witness saw the vehicle speed away.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, we've maybe learned from some mistakes from the first one and have upgraded security significantly, which resulted in a prevention of something that could have gone badly.
Doug Coons, a former FBI agent, is joining us. Just a couple more minutes left with you. You mentioned the binoculars and the license plate reading technology. I have to imagine that the forensic science has advanced a lot over the years. Are you aware of anything new that they would put into place to help them determine, why he did this or how he was able to do it?
I don't know about new. I've been retired for 6 years now. The license plate reading technology exists. It's much better now, however, and once you have a plate, you can flag that. So if it goes by another reader, it will alert law enforcement that, hey, this vehicle was just here. So you can get a path at least. You can also look at any surrounding security camera, and they're everywhere now. So there is that. Social media is much more prevalent. Back when I started, it didn't exist. Mm-hmm. And now people put so much out there. You can learn so much from their behavior online. And it's just a piece of the puzzle. So you've got the social media piece, you've got the interviews, you've got the searches. And hopefully when you put all those pieces together, it puts the picture into something that's understandable.
Does it change because it's somebody like Donald Trump? Like, will Donald Trump's day-to-day change? And I know this is a very loaded question because we're talking about a former president and a presidential candidate, so his schedule is not typical in any regard. But because he is the victim of this attempt, will his day-to-day life change dramatically? Like, he has events scheduled. Will he continue? Will he be able to do that based on the investigation that's going on?
Well, I can only speculate here. I'm going to guess that he's not going to change any of his plans. It may make them more inconvenient as to how they are conducted. But my guess is he's still going to have his rallies. He's still going to have his fundraisers. He's still going to play golf. I think that the Secret Service has already really enhanced the security detail, especially as we get close to the election, and especially that we've had 2 attempts now. Nobody wants to see this happen from either side. So it'll be interesting when we find out more about this guy that did it. I think it's more likely he's a lone actor who's got his own maybe mental health issues and that kind of thing. But we'll have to see. I'm speculating here, and I hate to do that, but it's kind of the nature of the beast.
How closely does the FBI and the Secret Service work together?
Pretty closely on these things. Their priority is the protection, and after these events, the FBI has the lead in the investigation. But the service also has very good investigators, and they'll share information and figure out who's going to do what. Certainly the FBI has their expertise, their fortes, and the service has theirs, and so they will try to use the best of both worlds.
Yeah. How long do you think an investigation like this will last? I mean, we haven't finished the first one.
Right. It just depends. I understand the guy might have had some foreign travel in the past year. That's always difficult to flesh out. Where exactly was he? Coordinating with foreign law enforcement agencies to see what was going on there. If we can find that out, it can take some time. But leading up to the election, the sense of urgency dictates that they will work this as hard as they can to get it resolved.
Yeah.
So hopefully weeks, not months.
Yeah, as quickly as possible, I would imagine. Doug Coons, former FBI agent, we appreciate all of your insight on this topic today. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's Kendall and Casey, True Crime Tuesday on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You know the charges now. It's mostly sunny, 76 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is being indicted on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. According to a now unsealed indictment, Combs is facing 3 counts of racketeering and conspiracy, as well as sex trafficking by force and transportation to engage in prostitution. Homeland Security raided Combs' homes in L.A. and Miami back in March. More details emerging about another attempt on former President Trump's life from the weekend.
Newly released body cam video footage that shows 58-year-old Ryan Ruth moments after he was arrested on the highway. Now, this was after he fled the golf course when Secret Service spotted him. We also learned his cell phone records show Ruth was camped outside the course for nearly 12 hours with food and a rifle before those agents confronted him. FBI did confirm yesterday he never had a line of sight to the former president.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol. U.S. gymnast Jordan Chiles is appealing a decision that left her stripped of a bronze medal from the Paris Olympics. Chiles lost out on the bronze in the women's gymnastics floor final when the Romanian team challenged a decision to revise her final score. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market. driving down prices. Maximize your home sale now with the market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Deedle. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Ray in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Deedle. I needed to move in a hurry, so I was out the door into a new home, but left with the big problem of selling my old home with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. I heard Mark Deedle was the answer, and I heard right. I was ecstatic when Mark sold my home for the price I needed in 2 days on the market. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
And welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Earn, save, grow. It's time your money works harder and goes further with a Stockyards Bank and Trust CD. For a limited time, earn 5.15 annual percentage yield with our 5-month CD special. Proudly serving our communities since 1904. Visit any of our 5 Indianapolis area locations or syb.com/IndyCD today and experience the Stockyards Bank difference. 10,000 minimum balance required. Limited time offer. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
One of my favorite things about playing high school sports is being a part of something bigger than myself.
I love being a part of a team and having a place where I belong. I'm Georgia Ferguson from East Central High School.
And I'm Jace Martin from North Harrison High School. The moments that often stand out most for student athletes happen off the playing field.
It's the team dinners, bus rides, and the music in the locker room.
It's the camaraderie, shared experiences, and being with your friends.
That sense of community helps you develop pride in who you are and what you represent.
Playing high school sports is where the values of your team, school, and community are on display for everyone to see.
It's a chance to show the best of us and make memories that will last a lifetime.
I am IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Be a champion of high school sports and support these memorable moments by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. This is forging friendships. This is building community. This is your IHSAA.
This is Chris Wedigan with Absolute Comfort. Go to AbsoluteComfort.org to find out how dual fuel systems can keep you absolutely comfortable all day, every day.
Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatment at 317-559-PAIN.
Here we go with your voicemails at 317-684-8444. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And this first phone call is about crime here in Indianapolis.
Hey, you know who he is. Hey, I just wanted to make a quick comment here. Somebody needs to inform them there damn Democrats that's running this city that when you go out of your way to promote lawlessness, crime can and will continue to skyrocket, and innocent citizens will continue to be subjected to regular carjackings, street takeovers, shootings, rapes, murder, hit and runs by unlicensed, uninsured drivers, residential neighborhood yards turned into auto junkyards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And taxpayers will continue to foot the bill for the bad actress attorneys. Indy, you gotta love it. Better invest in Kevlar. Over it.
Okay. Wow, he was charged up. What is going on? I'm seeing more and more stories about IMPD saying they're going after these organizations who put on these events, these street spinners that drivers are taking a part of. What?
Well, look, these people just think, and they were hard to argue based on how they were treated during 2020, that these criminals, these people think they can just take over society, that they don't share the roads with anybody. They can shut down streets. But look, they got away with it in 2020. Mm-hmm. Why? Based on the behavior of
the city of Indianapolis, and especially the prosecutor's office, why would they believe any differently? And IMPD, to their credit, thus far, said, we're not dealing with this. Why would anybody want to be a police officer? I mean, thank God there are people who want to do it, and thank you for your service. But look at the crap these people have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Never a thank you, never anything. And then if one of them screws up, oh, you guys are all just the worst.
Right, and you've got other people saying, oh, we want to defund you. We don't even support you. So IMPD is saying that gas, oil, baseball bats, and more have been thrown at them during at least 5 street takeovers just this past weekend.
It's a horrible job. I had a buddy who for years was an IMPD officer, and he got out, went to a suburban community, and he said, I make a little less money, but I got 10,000 fewer problems, and I'm a lot safer, and I am within 5 minutes of my house, and that's certainly worth a few less coins.
And you got to realize when you're talking about IMPD, it's not just them, it's their family as well. Every time that they leave for work, you're worried, are they going to make it home? Here's another phone call, and this one is about the Secret Service in the assassination attempt against Donald Trump.
Hi, this is Dan from Eastside. That guy who shot at the President Trump, and then FBI, Secret Service returned fire. They said they shot several times. How come they didn't hit him? Why was he able to make his escape? Incompetent city. Bye.
Okay, so what's being reported now is that the shooter actually did not fire any shots. He never had Trump in his line of sight, and he sped away after an agent spotted him and shot in his direction, and then he was arrested in a neighboring county. But imagine that. He got to a neighboring county.
Yeah.
Not just a couple streets away, a county away.
Well, and if somebody hadn't seen him and got the license plate, think about that.
Right. There'd be a manhunt on the way. Okay, you mentioned something about Kelsey Grammer yesterday.
So there was when I was my first job in high school, I worked at a golf course, and there was a guy who would play once or twice a week. He worked for, the reason we got on this was he was working for, I can't remember if it was Chili's or TGI Fridays or whatever, in Indianapolis. And he was, he'd talk about the money and stuff he'd make and how the customers and things. But the guy was a dead ringer for Kelsey Grammer. Like, he looked identical to Kelsey Grammer. And so I don't even remember exactly. Sometimes I get on things and it's like, I totally derailed the conversation Casey wants to have. But anyway, I was just remembering that guy and how he looked exactly like Kelsey Grammer.
Okay, well, somebody wanted to call and tell us the story about his run-in with a Kelsey Grammer doppelganger, except...
1986, I'm on a flight out to L.A. from Indianapolis. I get on the plane, and I notice a guy that looks just like Kelsey Grammer behind me. So we get almost ready to land, and I finally get up enough cojones, and I turn around, and I was like, man, aren't you Frazier? And he went into character, looked right at me and said, preposterous. And it was Kelsey Grammer. I'll never forget that. That was awesome. Could have anybody played Frazier better than he did on Cheers and then on his show? That was awesome. Thanks. See you.
He just wanted to call and share that story. He didn't get his autograph or a picture with him, though.
Kelsey Grammer, this would have been in the middle part of the last decade. There was a show. It only aired for 2 seasons. It was on Showtime. It was called Boss. And Kelsey Grammer played the mayor of Chicago, and he was excellent. If you ever have an opportunity to watch the show, I mean, it's, there's obviously they put a lot of drama in it, some things that just don't happen politically or how they happen politically. But he was excellent, excellent, excellent as the mayor of Chicago, and what a phenomenal actor.
Yesterday, you spoke with Micah Beckwith about the article that Indiana Capital Chronicle put out.
Yes.
Trying to get to the bottom of the fact that did Micah's dad actually invent moose tracks or not?
Yeah, so the Indiana Capital Chronicle, based on one thing on a website, decided to launch this, I guess, investigation into whether Micah's dad, now not Micah, whether Micah's dad actually invented Moose Tracks ice cream. And what became abundantly clear is his dad did invent Moose Tracks ice cream. His dad, there's news articles from years ago talking about it. His dad was in a legal entanglement
with the guy who he owned the company with. Ultimately, there was some sort of buyout or something that took place where that guy took over Micah's dad's shares, took over the company. And the guy who took over the company then obviously like writes the history of it. Like, I invented the blah, blah, blah. There's not a shred of evidence to anything to support that other than the guy putting it on the website who ended up with the company. And to the lady's credit, the article, I thought she did cite the sources well. She did show, hey, these articles exist saying Micah's dad did this. She did quote Micah fairly and accurately. But my gosh, what a colossal waste of time. They were trying to get him. They thought, we got him. He lied. We got him. Like the media's obsession, whether it's Briggs, and we like Briggs at IndyStar, but he's got it. There's others who've got it. The obsession with Micah Beckwith is very, very, very weird. And I'm surprised the Capitol Chronicle did that, because normally they do pretty good straight reporting, and we have them on and we cite them all the time. And I'm just surprised they wasted all of that for nothing. And then they ran the article. Like, normally if a reporter looks into something and gets nothing, they're like, well,
there's nothing here.
Right.
Move on.
But why would you lie about that?
We're investigating if he invented moose tracks. Oh, he invented moose tracks.
And the conversation even arose to begin with about, at the time, the pro-Julie McGuire people during the convention were trying to say Micah doesn't know anything about the actual job of lieutenant governor. And Micah said, I have more experience in the ag business than she does. My family grew up in the dairy business, which they did. It's totally indisputable. And as part of that, like, one little thing was just my dad invented Moose Tracks ice cream. Not that it would in any way, shape, or form negate Micah's experience or his family's experience in the dairy business, but it's just so weird that they spent all that time on a complete non-story.
Well, here's a phone call about that.
Appreciate your segment yesterday on Micah. The last I heard was his father wasn't actually running for any office. So who would care about whether his dad invented the wheel or ice cream or the sun or anything else? We all know that there's people that don't like Micah because he has a C behind his name for Christian. And, you know, when you really think about it, in the society that we are now, that's the biggest thing. So thank you for mentioning Jesus Christ, and I'm glad that Micah has a conviction, because I don't see any other politicians that have any.
Yeah, the reality of this is, if you want to talk about people running for lieutenant governor, Terry Gooden has changed in one day, changed his lifelong held beliefs. The moment he became lieutenant governor nominee under Jennifer McCormick, changed his lifelong held beliefs with voting records to match them on guns, on marriage, on abortion. Where's the expose on that? Because that stuff actually affects people's lives. Jennifer McCormick claims she couldn't remember if she voted for Donald Trump or not in 2016. Where's the expose on that? These are the disingenuous liars that are running for public office. And the thing about Micah is, and I've had many conversations with people about Micah, he has lived an exemplary life. I'm not saying he's lived a perfect life. None of us have. But the goodness of Micah Beckwith and his family, his wife, his kids, you can't get him on any of that stuff. There's nothing to get. And so now I guess we've pivoted. Since you can't get him on any of that stuff, now we're going to go after whether his dad invented a flavor of ice cream.
Yeah.
I was shocked, because Capitol Chronicle usually does such good work, and their reporting is very fair. Their straight reporting is very fair, that they wasted the time on that. But it is, man, there are a lot of people who are super obsessed with Micah Beckwith, and I think it's a lot more than just him being a Republican.
Well, that phone call, he had a good point. He says his dad is not running for office. So even if it came out that he didn't invent moose tracks, what are you going to do with that information?
Of course.
But he did.
He had, but the premise of all of it was, Micah saying, I grew up in the dairy business. I understand this office. I'm not just a pastor. I know about the things that the lieutenant governor is supposed to do. And I've said this before, and then we'll get off because I know we got to get to Hammer. Micah and I, we always joke, Micah and I are like the same guy, only in the cartoons. He's the angel and I'm the devil, right? Like he does not care. It doesn't affect him. Like, these people think they're going to bother him, that he's going to sit around, and we are exactly the same. Now, we handle it differently. He handles it with pleasantries and a smile, and I take a different approach. But you're not going to scare him. You're not going to intimidate him. You're not going to bother him. And so the media would be way better off just moving on to something and someone else because it ain't going to work.
Hammer is going to join us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Big time Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Not Kenny Rogers. Jeff Boggs will join us. The latest on the Trump assassination attempt. And we're going to have some fun. 93 WIBC.
Oh, that's funny. We just mentioned Micah Beckwith because it's time to talk about Life Church. You know, we love Life Church. We talk about all the time in this program about the incredible impact Life Church has had on my life, on my wife's life, on my daughter's life. And man, there's many, many things to love about Life Church, but I think front and center is how you're so much more than just a number there. You're like family. And recently, the last couple services brought a friend of mine and his wife there, and they've seen it too. Life Church is warm. They're welcoming. Many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years, and you can see for yourself why. They got campuses all across central Indiana, so there's one conveniently near you, and they have awesome online services, so if you want to check it out, don't even have to leave your home. Learn more about everything, lifechurchin.com.
When you have a stuffy nose, life can be a bit unpleasant. Some live every day with a stuffy nose, and that can make life downright miserable. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we are committed to eliminating your nasal breathing problems with simple in-office procedures like balloon sinuplasty, which requires no surgical cuts, little to no downtime, and can have you breathing better in less than 30 minutes. At Advent, we understand your inability to breathe freely limits your quality of life, and that's why we continue to pioneer the most advanced in-office procedures that have made our practice a global destination for those seeking to live their highest quality of life. Visit AdventKnows.com to see if you're a candidate for the balloon sinuplasty procedure. Because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-9369. 800-525-9369. 800-525-9369.
Happy Tuesday, friends. It's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. And man, what a deal going on right now at Universal Windows Direct. When you call today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. For every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 windows free. That's right. Didn't stutter. No limit. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There is no limit. Oh, yeah, and on top of that, Universal Windows Direct going to offer you 0% financing for 36 months. That's 3 years. Now, some restrictions apply. So to get all the information, you got to call today. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. And when you call, say, Rob Kendall, WIBC told me to call. Universal Windows Direct going to take $250 off your project just because they can. Oh, yeah. And one of the great things we love about Universal Windows Direct, they have a true lifetime warranty with their product, which means it's for as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. 317-659-7574. Tell them Rob sent you.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Truck drivers, it's time to drive for a company that values your time. At Midwest Logistics Systems, you'll get home every day and have a predictable Monday through Friday schedule with occasional Saturdays. Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of driving out and back routes and hauling no-touch, mostly drop and hook freight. MLS drivers also earn performance and safety bonuses and have access to a comprehensive benefits package. Explore our selection of local dedicated driving jobs and apply today at MidwestLogisticsSystems.com.
Yes! Yes! I love this.
There he is, Jason Hammer, joining us from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel program. I had Kevin use this because both you and Rob were tweeting about this guy doing his solo of Freebird on the recorder last night.
Isn't this just melting your face off right
Turn
now?
it up, Kev. Turn it up.
I told Nigel it's better than the guitar solo.
It is. It's great. And to watch him do it is incredible. Those fingers.
Yeah.
So this guy's in his car and he's doing the guitar solo from Freebird on a kazoo?
Kazoo, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This should be the halftime of the Super Bowl. This should be it.
Be more entertaining than the guy.
You
they
guys can
booked.
have Kendall Lamar. Give me this guy.
Right.
Hey, it's podcast day.
It is. A new Degenerates Next Door drops around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And you, in terms of college football, have been a one-man flamethrower.
Yeah.
This man is on fire, and I cannot wait to find out what you got today.
Yeah, so we'll drop that about 1 o'clock today. And boy, speaking of dropping, boy, poor Destiny Wells, she really dropped in that new poll, didn't she? I mean, cratered. Woo, buddy.
But the polling from the Democrats said the Democrats are doing well.
Yeah.
Like statistical tie.
That poll is the equivalent of asking everybody that's incarcerated, did you do it? No! Well, sure, let's take their word for it.
Yeah, so a new poll came out, shows Braun's way ahead of McCormick. Rokita's boat racing Destiny Wells. By the way, Destiny Wells is a sea hag.
Okay.
I mean, she is a complete sea hag. She's a horrible human. She was on her Twitter account cheerleading about how in that...
Didn't she come on your show?
No.
I'm thinking of McCormick.
Yeah, McCormick did.
I'm getting my hags mixed up.
She's bad, but she's not as sea haggy as Destiny Wells. If we're ranking our sea hags, Destiny Wells
Now,
is...
correct me if I'm wrong, but if Destiny Wells loses another local election, we get a free 6-inch sub from Subway, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Rokita fan, but I'm definitely cheering for him to beat the holy you-know-what out of her because she is just... I mean, she was on her Twitter account taking a victory lap in that doctored Democrat poll, which wasn't anywhere close to accurate now we've seen, that abortion was the #1 issue in Indiana. Like, she was ecstatic about that. It's like, woman, you have children. You have children of your own, and you're excited about abortion being the #1 issue? What is wrong with you?
It's not first, second, or even third. That's
no,
the top issue.
in the actual legitimate poll that came out from Emerson, it's like, wait, surprise, surprise, the economy is #1. Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, when I leave Kroger after spending $400 on stuff that cost me $200 not that long ago, I'm not thinking to myself, thank God Destiny Wells is going to rescue abortion.
I'm so glad to see her getting her ass kicked. And, of course, as we told you, Braun is soundly defeating McCormick. And I just...
And why is Destiny Wells, like, clout chasing local, like, people on Twitter? Like, she's fighting with Tony. She's fighting with Dan Dockich. At one point, she's trying to tag Mark Cuban to come in and rescue her at some point. Because nothing says empowering women like having the big successful man come in and help you.
Well, she even put it out there. It's getting close to campaign season, so I need to start picking fights with people.
It's an unserious person. She got beat by 14 points by Diego Morales, who is the biggest buffoon to ever run for statewide office. And here's the thing about the Democrats. People don't like the Republicans, but they look at the insanity of the Democrats, the just utter insanity on the social stuff, from the on-demand abortion, men in the women's restrooms, men playing women's sports. There's just a laundry list of things, and they go, well, the Republicans are stealing my money, but I can't have any part of that.
And I think the only way for Destiny Wells to get even is if she downloads the new episode of The Degenerates Next Door, which come out at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Free picks from Rob, myself, our pro handicapper who's undefeated on the show. Let's go.
What's coming up this afternoon?
Caller roulette, not Kenny Rogers in studio, and we're going to have a good time.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
After college, Mike Braun could have gone anywhere. He chose to move back to his hometown of Jasper, Indiana. There, he started a small business, kept his head down, worked hard, and turned his small business into a national company, employing thousands of Hoosiers. He'll use that same determination for us. Lead the charge on lowering the price of gas, groceries, energy. Take on the big healthcare companies to increase healthcare access and lower costs. And Mike will improve education across our state by increasing school choice. Mike will make our streets safer, back the blue, and stop illegal immigration if the federal government won't. Because Braun believes every Hoosier should be safe and secure in their community. As governor, Braun will continue working for Hoosiers. Because when you're Mike, working hard is just what you do. Mike Braun, governor. Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
18 years ago, Tom and Sarah Joyner started Joyner Homes in Greenfield, and to date, they've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. The homes they build are different than the cookie-cutter houses you see today. They build homes that have the character like the homes of yesterday, but have modern features, character-rich features, exposed wood beams, stone fireplaces, custom build-ins, and smart design. Building a new home doesn't have to be a headache. Joyner Homes will build you a truly unique, beautiful home. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIPC.com.
Why a student at an Indy high school is facing more than a suspension, and Harrison Silcox reports on a police shooting. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
Sex, trafficking, and racketeering. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what's in the federal indictment against Sean Diddy Combs.
He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges.
Combs' attorney Mark Agnifilo before the rapper and music producer appeared in court the day after his arrest in New York City. Prosecutors allege
he used his, power to manipulate women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers, saying that he would fly these women in against their will. Also, he was obtaining and distributing narcotics to these women, controlling their careers, and leveraging his financial support.
Fox's Alexis McAdams outside the court. Florida is considering charges, including attempted murder, against the suspect in the second Trump assassination attempt.
In addition to holding the suspect accountable, the public deserves to know the truth.
Governor Ron DeSantis. So far, Ryan Ruth is charged with federal gun crimes.
Agents in North Carolina, where Ruth is from, and Hawaii, where he lives, are talking to his friends, family, and colleagues. The FBI says it does not appear anyone else was involved in his plans that included camping out for almost 12 hours in the middle of the night from 1:59 a.m. on Sunday to 1:31 p.m. along the fence of the Trump golf course. Location data from his cell phone.
That's Fox's David Spunt. Now to the Middle East. That's the sound of a pager exploding in Lebanon, one of many in what could be a coordinated attack.
This is the kind of thing that Israel will never confirm, certainly not in the early stages of it.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv.
As many as 1,000 Hezbollah fighters have suddenly been injured rather seriously. When what we've seen through some of the security video that's coming out so far, the pagers that they were wearing suddenly play an audio message and then explode, resulting in serious injury.
Now, Iranian state media is reporting that Iran's ambassador to Lebanon is among those wounded. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A student is charged. It's 78 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A student suspended in Indianapolis for attacking his teacher. It was at George Washington High School last week, where Aziz Mamadou, who was 19, punched a substitute teacher in the mouth and kicked them in the ribs. Now Mamadou is facing a felony charge as well as discipline from IPS. A man was shot and killed by a Fort Wayne police officer Monday. Harrison Silcox reports.
About a man who hit his wife and pulled a gun on her was made to Fort Wayne police around 1:30 in the afternoon.
While officers were headed to the scene in downtown Fort Wayne, they noticed the suspect vehicle, which their suspects slammed into a cop car. He then kept driving. The cops tailed him into an alley south of downtown, where shots were then fired. FWPD says their suspect died at the scene and none of their officers were hurt. All involved are now on administrative leave while the shooting remains under investigation. Everson Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Another big interchange along 465 is about to be rebuilt. Traffic has increased significantly at the interchange of US 31 and 465 on the north side. INDOT spokeswoman Kylie Kramer tells Wish TV it's because of the recent and rapid growth of Hamilton County.
It's almost 105,000 vehicles that travel US 31 in both directions per day. Estimated for 2025.
And with that, the interchange needs upgrades to meet that demand. They plan to hold a public meeting to announce more details next week. Most of Indiana is still dealing with drought and is not going to be changing anytime soon.
So we're likely going to see the current drought conditions continue to get worse over the next 2 weeks.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says many counties are still under burn bans, especially in southern Indiana. Prema Racing is a new team to the IndyCar paddock for 2025. They have signed Callum Ilott to one of their 2 open seats. Ilott has not been racing full-time in IndyCar since driving for Juncos Hollinger back in 2023. I'm Kirk Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's Terry Stacy, a customer of Premier Deck Coating, and they've changed our life when it comes to saving us time and money, preparing and protecting our deck year after year. Premier Deck Coating is the ultimate deck protection, sister company of Rhino Shield, locally owned. Right now, we've got black walnuts that fall from the trees that normally used to stain the deck, but no more now that we have Premier Deck Coating. It has completely transformed our deck with their special formulated product, and it's backed by a 10-year warranty. They came in, they sanded all the walking surfaces, they repaired the damaged boards, and then they applied their Protect Deck and Railing coating. And that repels mold and moisture, and it resists scratches, and it keeps our deck looking great for years to come. They can also do fences and pergolas, too. And listen to this. Right now, they're able to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans and no payments until next year to qualified customers. Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. We love what they were able to do for us. For a free quote, visit premierdeckcoating.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard air dealer serving Central Indiana.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 17th. It's 5 minutes after 11. That is Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels, and I think the only person this surprised was him. Sean Diddy Combs was charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and also transportation to engage in prostitution. This, according to an unsealed indictment. He was arrested in Manhattan, New York yesterday, and he was staying in a hotel in New York. Was he staying or was he hiding?
Well, and I don't know who locally needs to hear this, but we'll just put this public service announcement out before we start the segment. If the FBI or the feds raid the place you live, that's probably not going to end well for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Just prepare yourself. I don't know if anybody locally needs to hear this, if any high-profile wannabe politicians have had their home raided by the FBI, but if the FBI has gotten to the point where there's enough that they're coming into your house, that's just not going to end well for you. All right, now we'll move on past that now that we've done our public service announcement.
So it was a 14-page indictment, and they say that Combs turned his multifaceted business empire into a criminal enterprise in which he and his associates engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, and other crimes. They say that he coerced women to, quote, fulfill his sexual desires.
Well, okay, and, it's interesting because we had Nathan Peternell from Life Church on last week, and then they've got that big Hope Starts Here breakfast coming up this week that we may cover a little bit on further to benefit Project Rescue. And I obviously give to Project Rescue all of the Hammer and Nigel I Love Rob Kendall merchandise. All my profits go to that, and that group exists to fight human sex trafficking. And what people need to realize is how prevalent human sex trafficking is, how many women against their will both citizens of this country and people who are not citizens of this country brought into this country who are forced to do heinous, horrific, awful things. It's a very, very real thing. It's very serious. And, obviously everyone is entitled to innocence until guilt is proven. But it appears there is a mountain of evidence that seems to support the government's case against this guy.
Okay, so this is quite a wild development in the life of Sean Diddy Combs. And if it's true, even if it's not true, it could spell the end of his legacy. I mean, these are pretty serious allegations if you think about it. Racketeering, sex trafficking, forced labor, they're all career-ending accusations. Now, on the other side, his defense team is saying, oh, this is all mischaracterization. He's been cooperative. This is just unjust prosecution. But with someone like him, a producer, a performer, when you live your life in the public eye, you really are beholden to perception of the public. So whether it's true or not, people will start walking away from this guy.
Yeah, okay, but so TMZ, obviously, they're always first on all of this stuff. And I'm just going to read you what they said about the indictment being sealed. That way we make sure nobody got it wrong, and I'm citing a source here, right?
Yep.
The indictment references what was seized during the raid at Diddy's home in Beverly Hills in Miami. Various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They also seized firearms, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine. This guy ain't running a soup kitchen, okay? Right? Come on. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to start putting all these things together and go, wow, what in the world's going on here? By the way, the video that surfaced of him in the hotel, that I know that's been out for quite a while now. It came out in the spring when his place got raided. I mean, that is horrific, and they got him on camera doing that stuff. I mean, it is. Look, this is a guy that it's pretty obvious, and you see this a lot with celebrities and politicians. I mean, look at Bob Menendez there in New Jersey, the senator that has resigned.
The one who was hiding the gold bars.
I mean, the brazenness of the action, right? You see that and you go, but they believe, these people believe they will never be caught. They're too powerful to be caught. They're too powerful to be dealt with. They're above the law. And it sort of sounds like, and there's some pretty serious stuff in these allegations, especially related to the human sex trafficking, that this guy was a bad hombre, which I don't think is going to surprise anybody, but maybe we didn't quite know to this level.
To the level, right? Yeah, that it was. And, he's been denying accusations against him like rape and sexual assault for years. And it's a culmination of years of rumors and lawsuits. And it seems that the feds finally caught up to this guy. So we are seeing a fall from grace moment right here when it comes to Sean Diddy Combs.
What normal person? Now, you know me. I am the most skeptical person of the government, period. And I always question the government. But 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
What do you need that for?
Yeah, what are we?
It's making the world's largest slip and slide.
Well, yeah. Thank you. Right. I mean, come on. Why do you have defaced, serial number firearms with defaced serial numbers on them? They found all these narcotics in the home, apparently. I mean, and we can debate whether drug use in this country, drugs should be legal, illegal, whatever. But what are you doing with the drugs? That's the question, right? You're not using all those drugs for personal consumption. You're not using all those drugs for personal use. Clearly, there was something going on here. Now, to what extent? Everybody's entitled to innocence until guilt is proven, but clearly something was amiss with this little empire he was running over there.
Well, yeah, little empire, and that's just it. Is he so narcissistic he thinks he's never going to get away with it? Or did he try to surround himself with money and powerful people to get away with it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Okay, let's talk about Mark Cuban. He is insisting that he's not going through a midlife crisis. He recently sold the majority of his stake in the Dallas Mavericks in late 23. He announced that he's leaving Shark Tank in 25. And now he's saying that he would buy X and Fox News if he could.
Not for sale.
Clearly not for sale. So why is he putting this out there?
Well, okay, so Mark Cuban is 66 years old. He's one of those guys that maybe because of the way he wore his hair and everything, he's never, you hear how old he is and you're like, really? He probably dyes his hair or whatever, but he's always been a guy that's given a more youthful persona. But when you reach a certain age, Hell, James Briggs practically killed off Mike Braun in the Indy Star the other day at 70. You probably do start thinking, okay, what's the, with the family, et cetera, what am I leaving behind? How am I leaving it? How am I handling my affairs? Again, I'm not trying to in any way say the end is anywhere near coming for Mark Cuban, but those are things you probably start thinking about. The reality is also a guy like that probably gets bored easy. It's creative, motivated people continually need to be challenged. He probably, whether it is Shark Tank or the Dallas Mavericks or whatever, it's probably become old hat to him, and he's looking for the next new thing to try to motivate himself.
He said if I had enough money to do it, which I don't, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. So the Fox News current market cap is at $17.6 billion. So it's interesting to think that not even Mark Cuban has enough money to buy it.
Right, and obviously, like with X, it's infinitely more expensive than that. Look at what Elon Musk paid for it.
Right.
It is fascinating, though, how we've sort of gone full circle in our society, and you've been in management and media for years, so you'll appreciate this. And you and I both worked for, at one point, a very eccentric guy who was an individual owner. He liked you much better than me.
What can you blame him?
But anyway, there was a time in media in the early days of television, radio, et cetera, where there were these highly eccentric, wealthy individuals who owned radio and television stations because they recognized, one, I then control the media, I control the voice, I control the narrative.
The message,
but they also were creative people in radio, and that was at a time where radio and television, more so radio, but both gave you creative outlets to press the envelope, do different things, whatever. Then there came a period where obviously all these mega corporations started buying up radio and television stations. It became solely a money-making operation in mass.
And at the same time became very homogenized.
Right, absolutely, because it became how much money can we make, how much product can we put out with the least amount of expense, et cetera. And now you're starting to see, at least on a tippy-top scale, the eccentric, wacky entrepreneur guy, for the same reasons eccentric, wacky entrepreneur guy got into television or radio to begin with, start pursuing buying, whether it's Twitter or television corporations or whatever, because they want to control the narrative, and they will like the creativity and the challenge that comes with owning those entities.
So when it comes to Mark Cuban, though, I don't know if it's necessarily a creative outlet for him or it's because he wants to be able to control the message. He clearly does not like the message that is on Fox News or on X. And so if he had the money, he would buy it so that he could control the message and direct the narrative to his side, which is definitely left.
You and I have talked about this before, though, that in an ever-changing, like WIBC is truly a unicorn in the sense of, did you know we're number one?
Yes, I heard that.
Did you see the ratings?
Yes. Congratulations to our listeners.
I would challenge any person to look at the ratings, market share of talk radio stations in major markets throughout this country and find one that does as well as we do. You can't do it. And we have sort of cracked the code in the sense of, in a somewhat struggling industry, we have remained dominant because of the people that our boss, David Wood, put in. I mean, let's face it, David took a flyer on every single person that you hear on WIBC. Tony Katz was some guy from Los Angeles, and it has worked out. Obviously, Hammer and Nigel were Indianapolis radio veterans, but had never done consistently, certainly not Nigel, talk radio. They had the Barcast, but had not done really talk radio on a large scale before. That worked out fabulously. I was a recovering politician and had been out of radio for quite a while now. I'd gotten back into it with my local show. They stuck me with the women. That worked out fabulously. When they left, they put me in here. And then obviously you had not done talk radio before. You'd done television, but not talk radio. And so by because of David's brilliance and he knew who to take flyers on, right? Like he knew, okay, this is a risk, but it's a controlled risk in the sense of I probably know how this is going to end up. We have bonded with our audience in the sense of the audience trusts us. The audience knows we're giving them something they can't get anywhere else. And so WIBC currently remains atop the Indianapolis radio market, which is unheard of for talk stations. But saying all that, it's a roundabout way of saying, I wonder if you're a Mark Cuban and you can just kind of invent whatever platform you want now. Let me look at like Daily Wire, et cetera. Why would you go to the cost of buying something like Fox News when you could kind of make,
you could
try to make, and you'd have the money. Well, it may not work. You'd have the money to make a push with the thing, which tells me it's almost a very Drudge Report type of thing where people will remember for years and years and years, Drudge Report was the central hub of thought for conservative thinkers. Whenever news broke or something was going on, you went to Drudge to get the conservative tilt. Well, a mega company bought Drudge, and they have just simply turned it liberal. And it took people a while to catch on. They're like, why is Drudge running this? Why is Drudge?
Yeah.
All the Drudges now is the name Drudge. There's nothing related to when Matt Drudge owned it or ran it or whatever. And maybe that's the thinking with the Cuban is, if I can take the Fox name and the Fox brand or something like the Twitter.
Slowly over time.
Right.
Change it.
Absolutely.
To what he wants.
Manipulate the system and be like, and total credit to Urban One. When they bought us, remember people were like, they're going to go liberal. It's all going to change.
Or it's going to be a complete format change. And if that were to happen, they'd be starting from zero.
Right.
Which is totally not smart in a business sense.
But to Urban One's credit, not only have they not messed with us, they've leaned into it. And they're like, Dion, our market boss is like, you guys do your thing. Just don't get me fined or kicked off the airwaves or whatever.
Don't lose the license.
They have totally embraced what we do. Why? Because they like money. Urban One likes making money, and we make money.
That was the choice they made. Money over message.
Right.
And with Mark Cuban, you got to wonder which would be his priority.
Right.
Would he rather have the message or would he rather have the money? At this point, he's got neither because he's not going to be buying Fox News or Twitter. But you look at things like Newsmax, relatively new. When was the last time there was a entire new network that was launched? Was it CNN?
It's boy. I mean, it's been a long time. All right, Casey, we have to take a break.
Yeah. I know what's coming.
When we come back,
I know what's coming.
A local elected official decided she was going to be Billy Badass at a council meeting about me and take a shot at me. And you know how we do it here, Casey.
Make him famous.
If you're going to do that, we bring you straight to the front of the line. One of the dumbest elected people in all of Central Indiana.
Okay.
We're going to put her on full display when we come back. How about that?
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC.
Second assassination attempt.
The subject, who did not have line of sight, fled the scene.
Man behind bars, and hopefully he's going to be there for a long time.
Another news update is minutes away.
Police in Indianapolis say their officers were attacked.
As events happen,
dozens of cars covering the road, men with masks covering their face.
We'll happen to be there.
Officers showered with rocks, bottles, baseball bats.
We're not going to stand silent, and we're not going to put up with it.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Did you know that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief for nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea? Of course you do, because everyone knows the Pepto song. But did you know that Pepto also comes in convenient and delightful solid forms?
Pepto has very fast melt cherry chewables, liquid caps that make relief easy.
Pepto makes relief on the go easy. So when you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Is your pet a digging enthusiast, an escape artist, or a counter surfer? Invisible Fence brand has you covered. For the wannabe landscaper, we've got a solution to keep them active but not destructive. For the escape artist, our personalized pet fences keep them safe and sound at home. Counter surfer? No problem. We know how to keep cheese thieves at bay. Invisible Fence brand. Tailor-made solutions for your pet, your yard, and your needs. Visit invisiblefence.com today.
At Shane Company, we'll help you design an engagement ring as unique as your love story. We have the widest selection of diamonds and gemstones for you to choose from, and you can compare them side by side right here in our store. Only at Shane Company can you sift through exquisite diamonds, rubies, and a rainbow of sapphires in a variety of shapes and sizes. We'll help you create your dream engagement ring no matter your price range. Choose the ring setting that speaks to your style, from classic to modern to vintage. We offer so many ways to personalize your ring. Pick your favorite center stone, add a decorative crown and a custom engraving, or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, our jewelers know how much your ring means to you. They hand-set each center stone with precision and pride in our jeweler's workshop, so you can feel confident knowing your ring is crafted with the greatest care and comes with an unmatched free lifetime warranty that lets you know we'll always be here for you. Your love story deserves to shine bright. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure of
1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show at Grand Park.
Featuring over 200 home improvement exhibitors.
September 20th through 22nd.
Tickets are only $7 at suburbanindieshows.com.
You know, one of my favorite things we do on this program, Casey,
Yeah.
is we highlight some of the very, very, very ridiculous humans who are representing us in society.
Something happening in Brownsburg?
It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. And
This is going back to the DNC.
Yes,
the convention that was in Chicago.
These politicians, these elected people, and here's the thing, and then we always joke about Warehouseburg on the west side where I live, but people pay attention to this. They take it in because it's happening where you live. The same type of people. Just the names are interchangeable. It's look at the calamity that is our society. This isn't happening accidentally. It's because they're like little politician farms, right? These same types of underachievers just pop up everywhere. And one common thread with these politicians is they hate to be challenged. They hate when you point out the obvious to society, and they can't stand it. They can't stand that there's anybody out there pointing out the obvious to the people, because once you point out the obvious to the people, certainly if you have a platform like we do, then people start thinking differently than they've thought before, and they might challenge you on your behavior on our time using our money.
So they can't continue the gaslighting. So this stems back to there was it was a town council meeting.
That's right, yes.
And one of the members wasn't there because they were at the DNC instead.
That's correct. So we name people here. Her name is Cindy Homan. She is, I mean, you want to look up intellectual mega giant in the dictionary. She's a Democrat on the Brownsburg Town Council. And she, look, she doesn't know what roads are in town. She regularly gets blatantly obvious things wrong, appears many times like she has no idea what's actually, par for the course for a Democrat elected official. But I was alerted that she was not going to be at the meeting, and it wasn't because she had an illness or anything else. It was that she was an elected national delegate,
right?
To go to, or appointed national delegate to go to Chicago to go party with her super liberal leftist friends. And I said, everybody's entitled to do what they want to do, but as someone who never missed a town council meeting, you know when the meetings are. There's only, 22 or 24 of them a year. You told the community, I want to do this thing. Like, I want to represent you. I want to make choices for you and better your life. And you know when the 22 or 24, whatever the number is now, meetings are, you'd think representing 30,000 people and the trust that people put into you would take the top priority for you over, I don't know, going and partying with your liberal leftist maniac friends in Chicago.
Well, they had balloons, though, Rob.
Especially when you're getting paid, I don't even know what the number is anymore. It's somewhere between $800 and $900 a meeting. You'd think that if you were getting paid money by the public to show up to a job, you would actually show up to the job.
You'd show up.
Well, this Cindy Homan woman obviously has no respect for the taxpayers. And so she said, screw you to the people of Brownsburg. And she went and decided she was going to party in Chicago.
Missing a meeting.
So I got up at the council meeting because they always do the thing at the meeting. Oh, there are 4 members here. Cindy Homan's not here. And I said, wait, the citizen comments at the beginning. I said, wait, we got to point out where this woman's at. She's not ill. She's not tending for a loved one. She's not, out serving soup to the needy. She's having a good time with her super liberal friends in Chicago of her own volition and her own choice. And as far as I know, she ain't giving no money back to the taxpayers. So we're paying for her trip to Chicago. Well, she didn't. She didn't like that.
No.
Not that she was refuting anything I said about where she was and what she was doing.
She just didn't like that you pointed it out.
Right. So at the end of the meeting, somebody alerted me of this. I was unable to go to the most recent meeting, but watching.
But you're not being paid to be there.
No. I'm a citizen who goes because I actually give a damn about the community. At the end, they always have where the council members can address whatever topic they want. And, she was not thrilled with the fact that I had the audacity to, now she was too gutless to say my name.
Okay.
And that's the thing, right? If you're gonna quote me or you're gonna use my photo on social media,
she danced around it.
You should at least.
Oh, right, using your photo. We'll get to that in a minute.
and so I thought, we'll just make this woman famous. Now, keep in mind, you're not gonna hear any refuting of what I said, which is she wasn't there. She was in Chicago. She made the choice to go. She didn't give the money back to the taxpayers. Now, she's going to talk about, I'm not going to use words like legalized vote buying. She gives her checks to various organizations throughout the community, which that's fine. God bless her. But that's my money. So I don't care what you do with the money. It's my money. You took my money. I don't care who you give it to, lady. But listen, this is 2 minutes of excuses. She sounds like John Belushi and the Blues Brothers under the bridge with Carrie Fisher. This is pathetic. And keep in mind, she can't refute a single thing that I had to say.
Even though I wasn't at the last meeting, I did watch the recording. I have a few things to say to some of the repeated comments. Along with the regular council meetings, I consider it part of my job to attend many other meetings. I go to the APC, BZA, Fire Territory, RDC, and UDO meetings. I attend most ribbon cuttings, grand openings, and groundbreakings. I also go over the council meeting packets and voice any concerns when I'm not going to be in attendance. The commenter mentioned that I'm making off with taxpayers' funds. Has anyone ever heard this person mention that I have already donated $4,000 of my pay to 4 different town nonprofits? I've donated $1,000 each to Brownsburg Little League, Brownsburg Girls Softball, Brownsburg Older Adults Alliance, and Brownsburg-based Project Angel. I'll also be donating an additional $1,000 to Fight Back Fitness by the end of the year. During the last meeting, I wasn't off partying with my leftist friends. I was participating in the nation's democratic process as a delegate to a national convention. It is an honor to be named a national delegate, and I've represented Indiana's 4th District admirably. Next month, I will be attending a 2-day conference on how to be a more effective counselor. That's 2 days when I will be apart from my family, but something I consider to be necessary training. It ends on a Thursday, but I should be able to make it back from Fort Wayne in time for the meeting. With all that being said, I refuse to allow anyone to say I'm not working hard enough for our town, nor will I let anyone dictate whether my absence is justified. You'll just have to trust me on that.
Well, lady, first of all, you voted in Chicago to take away the democratic process, 14 million votes from Joe Biden, and you voted for a woman who got 0 votes. So if that's the Democrats' version of the democratic process, seems about right. Here's the point on all of this, though. I can, Cindy Homan, and I will continue to say whatever I want about you because you work for me. And I have this big, powerful outlet to do it. So, lady, you just made a real power. What a bunch of arrogance from that woman. These are our elected officials,
Okay,
Casey.
so she is very involved, clearly. She listed all the organizations and meetings that she goes to.
That's not what she's elected to do.
Okay, you don't feel the need to cut her some slack on this. But here's the thing. She said that she donated some of her pay. I'm curious. Her pay is actually your money.
That's
so
right.
What she's saying is she donated your money. would you have wanted your money to go to the Little League or to the softball or to the Project Angel? Isn't that up to you, each individual, to determine where you want your money to go? What she did was she took your money and then decided on your behalf where it was going to go.
Absolutely right, Casey. And this is a person who she could have come back on Thursday. She didn't have to stay the whole time. She'd already done her due diligence, right? Her job that she was there to do. She wanted to stay and party with her friends. She got caught. She got called out. And instead of owning it and admitting, yeah, I abandoned the taxpayers because that was more fun, she tries to demonize and villainize me for having the audacity to say, you took my money and you didn't work for it.
Wait a minute. What did she call you? The commenter?
Yeah, I'm the commenter.
The commenter.
Yeah.
Coming next week to WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Diddy indicted. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Sex trafficking and racketeering, just some of the charges against Sean Diddy Combs.
We're talking about some very serious charges. This all stems from verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. They put in here that he used his, power, because he, for years, has been a huge music mogul, to manipulate women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers, saying that he would fly these women in against their will.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Almost half of Republicans say they won't accept the results of the November election for the White House if former President Trump loses. About a quarter of Democrats said the same thing about Vice President Kamala Harris, according to a poll from World Justice Project. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Cindy Carrasco has spent a career holding the powerful accountable. As Indiana's Inspector General and Director of the State Ethics Commission, Cindy fought waste, fraud, and abuse wherever she found it. Cindy also combated wrongdoing in state government, which meant standing up and doing the right thing even if it wasn't popular. Now, as our state senator, Cindy Carrasco continues to fight on behalf of all Hoosiers by improving the quality of our children's education, providing tax relief for everyone, and working to make our communities safe by getting law enforcement the resources they need to fight crime, violence, and keep fentanyl away from our families. It's why Cindy has been endorsed by the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police, State Police Alliance, and the Professional Firefighters of Indiana. Because they know that Cindy has their back, and we know she has ours. Vote for more government transparency, better schools, lower taxes, and safer streets. Vote Cindy Carrasco for State Senate.
Paid for by Cindy for Senate.
Did you know you can now use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? Tony Katz here. We're talking about QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. If you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulder, this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. You can enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs or surgery or downtime. Under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. The consultation is totally free, so call now. Take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics, Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
Hey guys, it's Rob. It's Tuesday. Sunday's going to be here before you know it. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, you go to the place I go. What could be better to go to church with me? Life Church. We love Life Church. They've had such a great impact on my life and my family's life. And many WIBC listeners over the years have found a home at Life Church. They're warm. They're welcoming. They treat you like so much more than just a number. You're an individual at Life Church. See it all for yourself. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. They got great online services. Learn more about everything, lifechurchin.com.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
We believe strongly in the power of education.
We also understand the impact it has on the success of communities across Indiana.
We see this through our work at the IHSAA, teaching 160,000 student athletes through education-based athletics.
And we see this through our work at Ivy Tech, where over 90,000 Indiana high school students are earning dual college credit while finishing high school.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig.
And I'm Dr. Sue Ellsperman, President of Ivy Tech Community College.
We're proud to partner with organizations like Ivy Tech that prioritize education and community.
At Ivy Tech, we have more than 70 programs,
helping Indiana high school students get a head start on college and their careers.
We offer the state's most affordable tuition and have saved families over $100 million this year.
Providing learning opportunities for Hoosier students is how we build a strong Indiana. This is the power of community.
This is the impact of education.
This is your IHSAA.
Chris Wedekin here, owner of Absolute Comfort. Increase comfort, lower gas bills, and reduce your carbon footprint.
Go to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Get a free reverse osmosis unit with the purchase of a 30,000 grain or larger water softener. C&J solves hard water problems. C&J, 317-733-SOFT.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
All right, hey, look, I think you're being a bad influence on me.
Why?
Well, you got me all riled up about this.
What are you talking about?
And I think you might be overreacting just a little bit to this. Well, it's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So there was a photo that popped up. It's like photo rights on the internet. There was a photo that popped up. Donald Rainwater, who's a libertarian running for governor, posted a photo of a shirt that says, what is it? Good Republicans.
Friends don't let friends vote for bad Republicans.
And I made some comment about it. And I looked at that shirt and I said, wait, I have that shirt. And then I thought, wait a second, that's me wearing that shirt.
Yeah.
But it like chopped off my head, which many people would like to do. And it's just the body. And so I had playfully just like responded. I said, hey, look, if you're going to like pilfer my photo,
you know, your campaign without permission.
Yeah. Like, you know, I mean,
at least cite your source.
Right, exactly. I don't want to, you're not using my stuff for your campaign without my permission. And then he responded, and I just said, well, look, I've lost a bunch of weight, and I just wanted credit for all the weight I've lost, so now I can see old photos. And then you came in here all stormed up, and you were like, I took that photo. That's my photo.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you're calling out Don Rainwater. You're saying, hey, you're stealing my photo without permission. Of course, you were joking about it. And then he replied, oh, hey, sorry about that, my friend. And then he gave you full permission. This was taken from Rob Kendall's Facebook page. I love the message so much that I reused it without his permission. Like he's trying to give you credit. Don Rainwater, I took the photo. If you're going to give photo credit to anybody, it was me that needs the credit.
Yeah, so I mean, are we making too big a deal out of this?
Just having a little fun.
Well, I know. But I mean, I feel like, you know, we're not on the same team this time, which is fine. We like Don. But, you know, I think aren't there rules? Don't I have some right to consent before my photo is used in a campaign activity of some sort?
Yeah, I think absolutely. But in his defense, he did say he did crop off your head. He did cut your head off. So that you didn't have to be associated with it, but you tagged him and said, wait a minute, that's me.
Yeah.
So by doing that, you did associate yourself with it.
I mean, it was so weird. I saw that. I was like, wait, I have that T-shirt. And then I was looking at it
closer. Wait a minute. I recognize that body. That's me. And then as I'm reading your tweet, I'm like, wait a minute. I took that photo.
What are we doing next? What's going on?
Oh, you know what? We got to talk about the umpire shortage.
That's
I know
right.
Baseball season winding down, but there's this umpire shortage. So I think you should get Phil Sanchez in here to talk about it, actually. We need to do a deep dive. We'll talk about it coming up from 93 WIBC.
Big time Hammer and Nigel show this afternoon. Not Kenny Rogers. Jeff Boggs will join us. The latest on the Trump assassination attempt. And we're going to have some fun. 93 WIBC.
Sinus pain. You know it all too well. It's constant. It's frustrating. The pressure, the headaches, the snoring, the constant clogged feeling. You're tired of feeling like this, but you've tried nasal sprays, over-the-counter medicines, even home remedies. No matter what you try, nothing gives you lasting sinus relief. You're tired of missing out and feeling miserable. There is something you can do. Something different. Indianapolis Sinus Center. The physicians at Indianapolis Sinus Center have been serving the community with proven treatments for over 50 years. They know what you're going through, and they're standing by ready to offer you the best treatments to provide long-term relief. Breathe better. You don't have to keep suffering from sinus pain. Call Indianapolis Sinus Center today at 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward relief. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or go to IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
It's Terry Stacy, a customer of Premier Deck Coating, and they've changed our life when it comes to saving us time and money, preparing and protecting our deck year after year. Premier Deck Coating is the ultimate deck protection, sister company of Rhino Shield, locally owned. Right now, we've got black walnuts that fall from the trees that normally used to stain the deck, but no more now that we have Premier Deck Coating. It has completely transformed our deck with their special formulated product, and it's backed by a 10-year warranty. They came in, they sanded all the walking surfaces, they repaired the damaged boards, and then they applied their Protect Deck and Railing coating, and that repels mold and moisture, and it resists scratches, and it keeps our deck looking great for years to come. They can also do fences and pergolas, too. And listen to this. Right now, they're able to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans and no payments until next year to qualified customers. Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. We love what they were able to do for us. For a free quote, visit premierdeckcoating.com.
I want a doll, a bike, and a new puppy.
Kids don't always ask for what they need. Give the littlest Hoosiers in your life a gift that starts today and will last forever, the gift of education. An Indiana 529 plan provides education savings for tomorrow while you enjoy generous tax benefits today. There are flexible investment options and a convenient mobile app. Get started with as little as $10 at myindiana529.com. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing. Sponsored by Indiana 529.
Pat Sullivan here for Michaelis. Owner Richard Michaelis has seen it all when it comes to water, storms, fire, and mold damage.
Hi, Pat. When that damage arises, we'll respond to you 24/7, 365. Our professionals will restore your business or your home to a pre-loss condition or better. We pride ourselves on being empathetic with our customers, and that includes working through the insurance process on your behalf.
Water, storms, fire, or mold, life happens, and Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
18 years ago, Tom and Sarah Joyner started Joyner Homes in Greenfield, and to date, they've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. The homes they build are different than the cookie-cutter houses you see today. They build homes that have the character like the homes of yesterday, but have modern features, character-rich features, exposed wood beams, stone fireplaces, custom build-ins, and smart design. Building a new home doesn't have to be a headache. Joyner Homes will build you a truly unique, beautiful home. Visit joynerhomes.com.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIPC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
So, Rob, when I came downtown on Friday to do the beer bong challenge with the Hammer and Nigel program, which I completely nailed, by the way.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Did you hear my time?
No, what was it?
8.2 or 8.6 seconds. I mean, not a drop of spillage. We haven't even talked about this.
Wait. Time out.
Yeah.
The record is like 2.5.
Yeah. I wasn't going for beating a record. I was just trying to walk away clean.
What do you mean you weren't going for literally the premise of the Hammer and Nigel beer bong thing is it's a competition. Who can do it the fastest?
Well, you know what? I did better than the host of the show, Hammer. So, in that regard, I'm a winner.
You know what you are? You're the equivalent of that chick from Australia who did the break dancing.
Yeah.
Where she went and she did horribly, but she's like, I went. I competed. No, I mean, that's probably pretty good. 8, what was your time?
8.6 or 8.2. I can't remember which
Well,
one.
if you didn't get any on you and that was your goal,
Well, I was afraid that, it comes rushing down on you. And I was afraid that I was going to just, and the host was going to go crazy.
Sure.
And I was going to end up wearing the beer more than drinking the beer.
Right.
But I did okay.
Good.
I mean, I think I surprised everyone in the room. Mostly myself.
We're also proud of you,
Thank
Casey.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank
You're a real, I mean, you are really a gift to society.
Well, when it comes to competition, like beer drinking,
Mhm.
I try to excel.
No kidding.
The entire point was when I came downtown on Friday, it was very busy down here.
Yeah.
Because there was an Indians home game. There was stuff going on at White River Park. And I bring up the Indians game because the Indiana Indians, they had their last home game on Sunday.
Right.
And many people may have been focusing on the play on the field.
Right.
Nobody was paying any attention to the umpires. And did you know that there is a national shortage of baseball umpires?
Well, first of all, let me say this. It was kind of a big weekend for the Indians because they paid tribute to Razor Shines. And Razor Shines is one of the all-time great, especially for people my age who grew up going to Old Busch Stadium on 16th Street. Razor Shines was this, and most people hearing this will know this, but for those of you who don't, Razor Shines was sort of this beloved guy who was not quite good enough to consistently be a major leaguer, but he was an exceptional minor leaguer. He was an exceptional AAA baseball player and played several years for very good Indianapolis Indians teams. And for people my age, he is the most beloved all-time figure in the history of the Indianapolis Indians. And I think they've retired his jersey, and he was throwing out the first pitch, and so it was kind of a tribute to him. But you're saying, apropos of nothing, is that the right phrase? Are you saying, no, let me take that back. You're saying unrelated to Razor Shines.
Yes.
See, I tried to throw out some big words there, and it didn't quite jive. But see, I caught it. That's really the key. I caught
It's the file system in your head.
Absolutely. Sometimes it briefly malfunctions, but it does its own autocorrect.
Right.
You're saying unrelated to Razor Shines being paid tribute to, that we could be in trouble for future minor league baseball games because nobody wants to be an umpire.
Yes. The average age of sports officials is 57 years old, and a lot of them are leaving because of poor treatment from the fans. Yeah.
I mean, it is a thankless job, especially at the lower level. So you will see these insane people at the youth sports games.
Oh, yeah.
Who are like screaming at these umpires who are, I don't know, what are they making, like $100 for 3 hours worth of work or whatever, and then you got to drive to wherever. It's not like they just let you umpire in your hometown. You got to drive somewhere, got to put the gear on. It's hot. You're probably not making much money. And then you got some overbearing parent telling you what a terrible job you're doing.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. So some of these people, especially during COVID, many of them retired and said, I'm not going back. But now that, the games are back in play, the average age, 57 years old, they're dealing with these crazy fans or, like you mentioned, the parents. And some of them are saying, nah, we're out of here. There's this Zionsville-based company. It's called Ref Reps. And what they're doing is they're providing instruction to high school and college students on what it takes to be a sports official. So they're trying to, get some people on the bench or in the bullpen, rather.
Well, it is. Hey, I like what you did there. Yeah, I see what you did there. It is fast.
On deck.
Well, it is fascinating because umpiring, in a weird way, is sort of like radio in the sense of you got to go through a training ground. So many people think I could just sit down and do this. No, you could not. No, I'm sorry. No, you simply could not. Even if you had really good opinions, no, you cannot. It takes years and years and years of learning how to entertain people. It takes years and years and years of learning how to not only have good positions, but craft them in a way that people want to hear what you do each day. I remember this. My one of my radio heroes told me this when I was very, very young. He would have been in his mid 40s at that time, and he said, I feel like I'm becoming a better broadcaster than I've ever been. And I remember in terms of sports, that's so weird because in your 40s you're old in sports. That's so weird. And now that I have entered my 40s, I get it. Like I feel like I'm a better broadcaster than I've ever been because it takes years and years and years to learn how to do this thing well. I think umpiring is the same way in the sense of it looks easy on TV, right? But you're making bang, bang, snap, second decisions, and there is an art to doing that thing and doing it well. And I don't think people, much like radio, want to put the effort into the training ground. And so thus you're getting lower quality of people and fewer people that are rising up to the level of being, whether it's a professional referee or Major League Baseball umpire. Even in the NFL, you've seen some, I don't know. I just don't think the officials are quite
some questionable
well,
calls.
right. I just don't think people want to put the effort in because, let's face it, you start out in the sense of like Radio, it starts with you're running a board, and you might have to work midnight to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And then if you do get on-air opportunities, they're few and far between.
And the pay is bad.
And people these kids now do not want to put the effort in. They do not. They come out of college and they do not want to, build.
Move to the small town.
Right.
Work the bad hours.
Exactly. And so I think the same thing with umpiring. You've got if you're a college person with opportunity, you're saying, why would I want to spend my weekends being yelled at by overbearing parents? Nobody would want to do that.
Yeah, it's really easy to be the armchair quarterback, right? And sit on the couch or sit in the stands and think, well, that's a bad call, and yell at them. But isn't it interesting that now there are classes? I mean, I know when you go to become an official, normally you have to take a test anyway.
Right.
And the higher, sport you're going to do.
You want to take a test real quick, see how well you do?
Oh, sure.
See if you can pass, right?
Yeah.
All right. Just some very high level. What do you want? Baseball? You want baseball? You want football? Okay. What do you want? What do you want?
Whatever you got.
What sport are you most likely to succeed in, Casey? And we'll do that one.
Probably football.
Football.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's hard to do.
Definitely soccer, because I do have that certificate
That's
already.
right, you do. You were a soccer official, weren't you?
I was an official, and I'm a certified coach. I played. I was a parent, a spectator, a marketer.
I don't know crap about soccer. So
okay, well, let's go with
All right,
football.
So football. All right, so a touchdown, just the touchdown
6
itself.
points.
Oh, that's so good. A field goal is worth how many points?
2, 3.
3. There you go. A safety is worth how many points?
2.
There you go.
That's the 2.
And an extra point is worth how many points?
Oh, an extra point. Is that 2? Is that 1?
It's 1. That's why it's called an extra. Although you could go for 2 theoretically.
Okay.
There, you know enough. You can totally referee in the National Football League, Casey. Congratulations.
I would just want to look good in the outfit. That's most important, right?
Absolutely.
But how do you take something like that, especially if you're a huge fan of the sport? Obviously, you've followed it for a good portion of your life to go to that level, to be an NFL official. And then how do you not pull for your team? How do you not be a complete homer?
Well, it used to, and I would imagine this is getting harder and harder to do because of official shortages, but I had one of the guys when I worked at the golf course, who's an avid golfer out there, member out there, he was a longtime, fairly prominent high school sports official, basketball official. And I talked to him about that, and the IHSAA used to be very careful about you do not ref games in the community in which you live.
Oh, because people will think that you're...
Well, yeah, and you wouldn't even want to put somebody in that position, right? Even if they're not a homer. But I would bet now that it is so hard to get people that you have more and more people refereeing games in the communities in which they live, just because logistically you can't make some guy drive to Marion,
right?
From Avon,
unless you're going to pay for their travel, which at that level.
But even if you were going to pay for it, some guy's probably like, I'm not driving 2 hours to spend an hour and a half refereeing, a high school football game or basketball game or whatever. So just leave the refs alone, man. They're not making any money.
Yeah.
They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying as hard as they can. Some of them are really going to stink, but just give them some grace, right?
When I first started reffing soccer when I was younger, there's supposed to be 2 people show up. Well, the guy who was doing it with me didn't show up.
You were on
so
your
I
own.
was on my own. So I had to get 2 parents to be linemen, one from each team to try and make it fair.
Yeah.
Luckily, the players were very, very young, so it was not a high-level thing, but yet the parents were still yelling at me, even for like 8-year-olds.
And now you're the referee of this show each day. And what a good job you do.
I'm throwing red flags everywhere. All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. And thank you for listening. Tony Katz is up next. It's 93 WIBC.
It seems like all the kids do during summer is drag dirt into the house. Well, they stink up the house too, but here's some good news. The kids are back in school, and fortunately, there's Zero Res. Zero Res is the healthy way to get your home feeling fresh and clean again. Even if your house doesn't look dirty, you still need to call Zero Res to remove the dust, dander, and bacteria in your carpets from a summer of fun. Zero Res will clean up the pizza spills and the puppy piddles, and they can get the yuck out of your air ducts as well. Now, lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and right now with the big BOGO at Zero Res, if you buy 2 rooms of cleaning, you get 2 rooms for free. Get your home Zero Resified with the patented ZR water that uses no soap, leaves no residue, and there are no harsh chemicals either. They just aren't needed to get things really clean. Now mention WIBC, buy 2 rooms of cleaning, get 2 rooms cleaned for free at Zero Res. 317-388-5141. Book online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct.